Finally made it.
How's life?
Good. How are you?
Good. I can't believe how young you look, and you've been a doula for so long, 10 years. That's
Thank
crazy.
you so much.
Yeah, that's
I am
crazy.
almost 36, so
Yeah, when I
born
think
with
of
a baby face.
yeah, I would think if you've been a doula for 10 years, you look like a grandma or something.
I started when I was really young. Like I was 24. Yeah. Whoa. Ugh, weird.
Yeah, that's bold. Hey, that's a lot of responsibility. That's like, is that kind of scary? Like, I picture it, yeah, I picture it as being kind of scary, like nerve-wracking, like, okay, here we go.
You know what? It was. I really had no idea what to expect. Except that I was just fascinated by birth and I was like, "Oh my god, I can go to births but not go to medical school? Like, hell yeah." Um, and I just jumped in and had no idea what the medical system was like. So to me, it was less scary of how am I gonna support moms, it was more intimidating being in that setting that I was completely unfamiliar with and just like, "Oh my god, this is
I mean,
whoa."
you're signing up to be someone's docent or guide or shaman on the most intense day of their life in the most primordial spiritual thing,
Oh, yeah.
if you believe in spiritual things on
Mhm.
planet Earth. I mean, it's like, I got the it's like, "Coach, put me in." I'll take a front row seat and be it's wild. It's a wild
You
and
know
a lot of you guys are the same. Like, we had a bunch of doulas and midwives, and there's, like, a kind of a same even though you guys are different, there's something about you guys. You're like, "Oh, yeah, those are the witches," or "Those are the,
Oh,
the angels,"
100%.
or "Those are," like, you guys, "Oh, yeah, those are the girls whose hair looks like that." Like, you just know that's them.
I like being a witch and an angel, I love that.
Yeah, I mean, they both have different I didn't mean them with connotations, but, like,
No, no.
as, like, a brood of it's a kind of woman. It's
Yes.
a kind of
Oh,
woman.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I became a doula before becoming a mom, and so I think I was very naive, and I was just like, "Awesome, I'd love that." And I think that was good. I don't know if it had gone the other way, like, if I had had a baby first, if I would knowing me, I'd probably still wanna be a doula having been a mom, but I don't think I would have just jumped in. But because I was so naive to what the birth world was like, I just jumped in, and then I was like, "Holy shit, this is crazy."
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think people realize, uh, you're just like I mean, I've never thought about it till just now staring at you. I was like, "Wow, this is really an intense job."
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, getting on stage at Broadway every night. Imagine being the star of a Broadway musical. Every night you have to get on stage and that tension and pressure and trying to memorize your lines. I'm
Mhm.
guessing it's somehow like that, not because it's, like, staged or fake like that, but because there's so much and it's so intense.
Yes, especially in a hospital setting for sure, but also, like, right now I'm on call for a birth. I was like, "Oh my gosh, if I get called into this birth and I have to cancel this podcast again, I'm gonna
That
feel
would be
so bad."
that would be cool. Like, I'm doing a podcast with a firefighter at the firehouse.
Yeah,
He's like, "Gotta go."
yeah. So, like, my life is just waiting for women to go into labor, and while I'm not actually the one pushing the baby out in this scenario, so it's, like, more intense for them. My life just goes on hold immediately. I leave my family for an unknown amount of time, and that's that, and I'm just like, "See ya. I don't know when I'll be back." So it's intense in that regard too.
You said hospital versus, home. You said
Yes.
the hospital's more what did you call it? Intense?
Yes, very much more intense because, it's just not this is my opinion,
Yeah, yeah,
it's not a peaceful setting to give birth to a baby.
right.
It's just not. There and that is not saying you can't have lovely nurses and a wonderful doctor, even in that unpeaceful setting. You can, but the even just the ambiance is not set up to have a relaxed nervous system, to chill out, to be undisturbed. It is fluorescent lights. Now they're going to dim your lights for you when they're all done with all the things they need to do to you and check on you. My daughter's waving at me through the window. Um, But it's like fluorescent lights. When you enter the hospital, they're asking you 1,000 questions about your family history and your medical history, and you're like, "Aren't I a patient here? Haven't we gone over this?" But they have to make sure they gotta just do a triple check. They get your blood, they put on the blood pressure monitor, they put on the pulse ox cord on your finger, they put on the straps around your belly to make sure baby's perfect every second of every moment of this whole time you're there, and it's just a lot of interruption and a lot of disruption. It's not peaceful. So as a doula, when you're in the hospital setting, it's like your job to make your mother, your client feel at peace just takes a lot more because you're combating this disruption.
When, my wife had the babies on the, living room floor,
Oh, nice.
and you're right, I just realized that she only had to navigate the process of having a birth, only. So easy.
Yes,
And millions of girls did it before, billions, so, like, so what?
exactly.
Just do it.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
if you go to a hospital, they have you have to navigate your birth, and you have to navigate their process. The part as the father that really tripped me out is I don't know how women have a baby in a hospital and then go home.
I know, right?
The thought of moving my wife
I
after she had
know.
the baby, or someone touching my baby and putting him in a plastic car carrier, to me seemed like, "Hey, why don't you just rub shit on his face while you're at it?" Like that. I mean, seriously, that's the thought of plastic touching my baby
Yes.
after it was born. I was like, "Holy shit, people put their baby in a car, and the baby has to hear those rumblings and be away from the mom." And I was tripping.
It's
I was like, "Wow, women are brave who have." Uh, um, my wife actually said that after she had the baby at home. She goes, "Wow, people say you're brave if you do a home birth." She goes, "That's nothing." She goes, "The real brave women are the ones who do it in hospitals."
totally agree. I had all my babies at home and I was
Wow.
like chilling.
She said she'd be freaked out if she had to do it in the hospital. She'd be
Oh,
so
I
scared.
know. I know. Yeah, I do
It's weird how
not.
everything's opposite of what we think.
Yes. I do not like being in hospitals. I try to empathize with women who are afraid of something going wrong, and that's why they go in the hospital. I really try and get on their level and be like, I can't change everybody, I can't change your mind. But I'm also like, I want to unpack that a little bit. What are you afraid of? Obviously, they're afraid of a worst case scenario. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
do you know how many emergencies happen in the hospital because of medical intervention? Like no one talks about that. And I can't I don't straight up say that to women who are scared. Like I have to be very like gentle with women who are really freaked out about childbirth. But I'm just like, man, we have it so backwards. Like you said, it is so twisted when and there's just a clear misconception of standard of care out of hospital and standard of care in the hospital. They're so different. So different. And medical intervention causes a lot of problems.
Why are people so defensive about it, you think? Why it's like, if you tell someone, um yeah, why are it's like the food subject. People get
Yes.
so, personally defensive when you tell them the thing that went down with Paige Powers was wild to me.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
"Hey, dude, I love Paige, great
Yeah.
guest on the show. She's young, she's a professional athlete. I think that you're fucking batshit crazy and missing out on a huge part of your life if you have a baby and 8 weeks later you're competing." It's fine. I'm not judging her for it. I think that, and I think that mine's a very sober thought.
I am
I
with you.
But I also heard her birth story, and she came on the show and shared it. Great story, but I also thought her birth story was batshit crazy.
I
You
didn't I
you
didn't hear it.
I mean, it's just it's very standard story.
Uh-huh. Okay,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? The
Hospital
hospital, all that
situation. Yeah.
stuff, the drugs, but I'm just, it's, I I I
People get
I don't
very
understand how
upset when you
I don't
call
understand how
out.
anyone's defensive about that at all. No one's not impressed with what she did, but the truth is, like, I was really impressed when the guy in college did the huge line of cocaine. My god.
Oh, really though.
But it doesn't mean it's,
A good idea.
no. No.
Yes. People get so defensive when you call out the medical establishment. And it is,
But she took it personally. She shouldn't take it personally. Like, why can't she just be like, "Yeah, that's crazy what she did." She
I
know
know,
like,
right? I
yeah.
don't know. Yeah, I mean, I come from a long line of medical professionals, and I have done everything to piss off everybody in my family. They were shockingly approving of a home birth, which was fantastic. I think they just weren't going to they knew at that point, like, they weren't going to try and convince me of doing anything differently. But, like,
Are you the first child or second child?
I'm the first child.
Oh, so you take the brunt of all the
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
So it's just like, the boomer mentality of questioning doctors, like, how dare you? And doctors know everything. And I have learned from now 10 years of experience, from my experience in CrossFit and health and nutrition, that I can't change my parents' minds. And I say my parents because that's my direct situation, but like the generation, you can't change the conclusion. Um and many of their children, our generations, are ingrained with those same conditioned thoughts. And it's just literal conditioning that you have to break free of somehow. That's why people get so offended, because they think that you are telling them that they did something wrong. And by choosing something that could potentially harm their baby, like, you're personally attacking them. It's wild.
I guess the presupposition is that you assume everyone who has a baby wants the best for their baby.
Exactly.
So
And if
when you're
yeah,
go
if you
ahead.
say something otherwise, they're harming their child on purpose.
So I think it's pretty well established that the best thing that can happen to your baby is that he comes out of the vagina. He has all the goop. He or she has all the goop on him. You
Uh-huh.
don't wipe the goop off, and then the baby does the breastfeeding, and you leave the mom alone for a few hours. Just and she pushes out the placenta, and then you eventually deal with the umbilical cord. But there's no there's tons of I think everyone agrees that those juices on the baby are where somehow the baby first starts it gets its immediate learning for how to protect itself and build its immune system, and the hypothalamus is uh, getting all these diseases and categorizing them and organizing, like, everyone knows that.
Yeah.
And yet probably 90% of people don't have that's not like the main goal or the protocol, when that is like the very best foundation you can give your baby. Leave the pussy juices on him, get the tit in his mouth.
Exactly.
I mean, why I don't understand how anyone I don't understand how that's just not like the goal for everybody.
The
Oh,
thing
no,
that
Heidi says not everyone knows that, but I think they do, don't they? Don't
inherently, I think you do, because inherently we all have a knowing that every single one of our ancestors came from a woman who gave birth without medical professionals, and we are here because of them. Like, you are here because a woman in your family line gave birth out of the hospital with no medical intervention. She potentially
in a
bit
cave somewhere.
bit the cord
Yes,
herself.
yes,
Like,
yes.
we have that's
Do
what
we
I
all come from that? Is that true? We all come
of
from a
course we
woman at some point who had to bite the cord?
probably, unless, I don't know what the protocol was in those days, but
Or rubbed it with a rock?
they
I'm talking
either
like 500 years ago.
yeah, they either bit it, rubbed it with a rock, or let it fall off and kept the placenta attached to the baby. That's called a lotus birth. People still do that now.
Awesome.
Yeah. So,
We didn't bathe our babies for months,
same.
and not because we never even the thing is we didn't even think about it. No one had told us.
Yeah,
We
they're not
didn't
dirty.
know. Yeah, they're just not dirty.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's like, you see those people wiping off the baby? After an hour of the baby's been out, you don't even see that shit. I don't even know
No,
where it goes. It's like
I know.
AI, it just vanishes.
If your baby has blood on it, like, you simply wait till it dries, or you can wipe the blood off, and then you just get a little baby wipe or a little wet cloth and wipe the blood off. But they're not gross, they're not dirty, they don't smell, they're not stinky. You just have them.
They
We
smell
didn't wash our
good.
yeah, they smell amazing.
Yeah.
Um, we uh we all have that inherent knowing. but a lot of us don't want to remember because it so starkly contrasts the medical conditioning. And you're just kind of like, you when I had my like, oh, I woke up to medical, you know, the medical world. It wasn't this aha moment, my world is blown. I was just like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Most people aren't like that. It's a very intense, like, I try to talk to my parents about the COVID shenanigans. And they're just like, they think it's like I'm speaking Chinese to them. Like it's like they cannot comprehend the things that I'm saying because they don't want to. And
Right.
I think that is because they don't want to. The reason they don't want to is because if they were open to maybe she's right, it changes so much. And that is sometimes it brings up so much stuff that is very uncomfortable for a lot of people. And when it comes to birth, whoo, the triggering that occurs when you're like, yeah, so the reason that your baby was struggling to breathe postpartum is because your doctor, who said they do delayed cord clamping for 1 minute, cut off your baby's blood supply and cut off their oxygen supply. If you tell someone that and they're not ready to hear that, they're going to be very angry at
Yes.
you, not the
Yes.
doctor. They're going to be very
Yes.
angry at
What?
you,
That's
not
true. I never
not their
heard that.
doctor.
I never heard that. You cut the
Oh,
umbilical cord right away, and that's what you're doing.
at the hospital, they say we do delayed cord clamping 60 to 90 seconds. I'm like, you're cutting off like 30% of their blood supply.
Why?
When
Why do they even cut the cord so quickly? Who gives a fuck about the cord? Like I
I
didn't even
don't
notice the cord.
know.
Yeah.
I
What?
don't
So what?
know. I don't know. It actually is so upsetting and it makes me so mad about the hospital establishment. I'm like, you doctors, okay. Here's what I do know. I take it back. Here's what I do know. Doctors cannot legally leave the room until the placenta is born and they have managed any hemorrhage. So they want that placenta out as soon as possible. If the baby is detached from the cord, they can start manipulating the placenta to come out right away so they can make sure mom's good, make sure there's no hemorrhage, and get out of there to their next patient. They don't let the natural process of the fourth stage of labor, which is the placenta coming out. I have never seen a hospital birth where the placenta. Maybe it happened with the midwives in Austin. I can't recall. Almost every hospital I've been to, the birth of the placenta and the cord cutting has been intervened every single step of the way because they need to. They need to get on.
What do you mean
Hospitals are
intervene? Like they do it sooner?
so when the baby's out, they cut the cord.
Yeah.
Once the baby's detached, pediatrics can assess baby really quick on mom's chest, and it's all
Yeah.
this rubbing and blah,
Yeah.
and then the OB who's catching the placenta can start tugging on the cord
Oh
and
shit.
manipulating it to come out.
They didn't do that to my wife.
No, so I've seen midwives do that when it's been 15, 20, 30 minutes
Yeah.
when they're like, okay, I want to just see if it's starting to detach. I'm still not a fan of that.
Yeah,
Um,
I think my wife's took a long time. Like she had the twins 5 hours apart, and then the placenta was
oh wow,
took a long time,
cool.
and yeah, it wasn't cool for her, but
Yeah.
uh, well, it was cool. I mean, in between the births, she came back,
Yeah,
so she was around for like 3 or 4 hours after. But
that is
yeah,
awesome.
they never did that. I think the placenta, it's like another birth, right? As I recall,
Yes.
she goes back to that spot and has to like do
Yeah,
all
it's
this the
it's much
witchcraft
more
stuff again.
mild. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
much more mild, but yes, it is like it's a fourth stage. Um so yeah, I'm a really not a big fan of that, and it's nearly unavoidable in the hospital, and it is truly infuriating. The OBs are not just going to sit around and wait for your baby for your placenta to be born because hospitals are so high volume. They got to get to the next patient. And so I tell all the dads who take my birth education class, like, you need to be a huge asshole to the doctor. And like, it's so challenging to confront the doctors in the moment. Your baby was just born. Now all of a sudden you need to be like, stop, don't touch her. It almost never happens because they're so concerned with their baby and their wife and they just want to be there. They're not thinking, oh, I have to protect this OB from manipulating this last stage of labor, potentially for the worst, because when you pull a placenta out, that could also cause a hemorrhage. It makes me so mad. Yeah, all of my babies, the placenta came out on its own. My midwife showed me with my first birth, my placenta was still inside and she showed me the cord. She's like, look at this cord. It is completely white and limp. Can I cut it now? She asked me. I said, that's fine. Because it was not pulsating, it was not blue, there was no blood flow. It was a limp white cord, but the placenta was still inside.
That's pretty humble for a midwife to do that. That's a
It
good
was
teammate.
great.
That's a great teammate.
And yeah, it was awesome. My second birth, baby came out, placenta came out on its own within 10 minutes, and my baby was on the cord for an hour before we cut it. Same with my third.
I think that
They,
our baby stayed attached to the cord for like an hour or something.
yeah, it was great. You just put it in a little Ziploc bag and let the cord completely drain. Baby gets all the blood, all the oxygen, all the stem cells to
I think
set
ours
them up
just
for
sat on the
success.
floor. I think ours
Yeah,
sat.
perfect. It's a huge disservice to babies. It's can be traumatizing for women because they're like, yo, I just pushed a baby out. Can you leave your hands out of me for like a minute? That'd be nice. But most women in hospitals are medicated. They don't feel it. And the doctor's like, oh, I'm just, just checking. And they're like yanking on the cord. I'm just like, oh my gosh. It's
Yeah,
gnarly.
when we took the birthing class, they told us that they gave us a bunch of tools to get space from the doctors and nurses. And one of the ones I remember, even though we didn't need it because we didn't go to the hospital, was can I get a few moments alone with my wife?
Yes.
Anytime that they try to do anything to your wife, just be like, hey, can I get a few minutes alone with my wife? And then and then they leave the room and then you can reset and get the space back and the calmness back.
And
And
that
then
almost always works
it
except for
does.
postpartum.
What a
Like
great
postpartum.
tool.
Oh, it's
Oh,
awesome.
so tell me, can you give me an example like how that's important? Like a
Oh,
story
yes.
you've seen where like all of a sudden they're like you've heard the husband do that, like you coach the husband to do
Yeah.
that and then he does that and you're like, "Yeah, boy."
Usually that's actually what I do as a doula.
Oh,
But the husband's because usually I say, listen, I can't speak for your wife. This is pre-birth. I can't speak on her behalf. I can't speak on your behalf. I'm not part of this family unit. So what I do is I'll ask for pause. So like for example, a doctor comes in and says, or a nurse, hey, your labor is not progressing the way we like. We like to see 1 centimeter of dilation every hour in active labor, which is based on medicalized birth. And we're just not seeing that. So we really want to start Pitocin. And most people without a doula or without birth education might be like, okay, like, what does that mean? What do we do? And they think they need to give an answer in that moment. So as a doula, I'm just like, okay, thank you. Like, can we think about it? Do we have some time to think about it? And usually the nurse is like, yeah, you guys can think about it. I'll come back in 10 minutes. And then I'm like, all right, here's the deal. Listen.
and there all of a sudden now that's something else a woman has to process, by the way, that you don't have to
Yes,
process at home. Right.
exactly.
Right.
So asking for pause is really good. I have sometimes advised to go ahead with Pitocin, but it's very rare. It's very rare. I'm just kind of
And
like,
do you regret do you regret it? Afterwards,
um,
like a week later, you're like, "Fuck, I shouldn't have done that."
there's one birth where I said that was unnecessary, but it only because the moment I was like, I think it's a good idea. Her baby came out like 8 minutes later. I was like, well, that was totally unnecessary. Um,
Oh, oh.
Another instance where I can think of it was actually, I don't regret it. This was at a hospital with midwives in Austin. Uh, they let her have her water broken for like 5 days, which is like unheard of in a
Wow,
hospital system.
wow, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So by the like 15-hour mark of her being at the hospital, it was still pretty slow, quote unquote. Like her contractions were still kind of far apart. I was like, listen, they have been so generous with your water breaking. I think if you don't do Pitocin, you're going to be in this state for potentially more hours And if you do Pitocin, they'll start it on the lowest dose and you might have your baby in like less than 2 hours. And she was like, let's just try it. I was like, okay. And her baby was born in 2 hours. And you know what? It was totally great. And the midwife was fantastic. No epidural. It was just like and so, I don't like to say do it because I knew she could have done it without, but she's not in that peaceful setting, right? She was on a clock. They had let her, like, even though they had let her go so long with her waters being broken, once she was on their turf, they're a little more nervous. So I was like, let's just get this baby out and not have them stress you out more.
Why not? My wife, the baby was like, I don't know, 3 weeks overdue. It was the first baby,
Oh, cool.
and the water was broken for like, I don't know, too long. Like where the midwives and shit are like, hey, we have to lie about when the water was broken.
Yeah.
We don't want to go to jail.
Yeah.
And then the midwife's like, hey, just make her this milkshake.
Uh-huh.
And I just made her this milkshake with this disgusting oil in it. And then I took her for a long walk. And then 4 hours later, she just fucking all of a sudden just shit herself. And then amongst the shit was the baby. It was like 4 hours later, the baby. You know what I mean? She's like, all right, I can have it. Why not just give the baby? Why not just give your wife or the lady? Can't you just give her that oil in the hospital? What's it called? Cod liver oil? Castor oil. Yeah. I just made her a castor oil shake and the baby just slipped out. By the way, that seems kind of dangerous too. Like if you didn't want to have the baby and you drank that shit, but the baby just slipped out after that.
So I'm so glad she had a good experience with that.
Yeah.
Okay,
well, the first couple hours when she shit herself sideways, she didn't like.
Yes.
But I had changes of clothes for her and all that.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I used to personal train a lady here at my house she's got to be 75 now. This was like 2 years ago. And we were talking about when she gave birth to her sons, who are in their late 40s, early 50s. And she was like, yeah, I went to the hospital and my doctor said, take some castor oil at home and I'll see you soon. And it was like, wait, what? Your doctor recommended that? She's like, yeah, that's what they all did back then. I was like, of course they did.
Why, is it bad?
No, it's not bad. The reason why they don't do it in hospital anymore, I'd have to guess. I don't know for sure. I've never talked to an OB about this. Is because they can't really standardize the outcome as well as
I used twice as much as they told me. The midwife told me to use a certain amount, and I didn't tell the midwife or my wife. I doubled the dose.
So exactly. If they say go home and do castor oil, they can't control your dosing. Now they could do it there, but they don't because it's not expensive. It's something you can buy at a grocery store. They can't bill a lot of money for it. It's not medicine.
Wow.
That'd be my guess. I don't know for sure.
Have you ever told a woman to drink castor oil?
Yes.
And has it worked?
Yes. I always say it's a last resort. Like, do not do it before your due date. You will just shit yourself and not have a baby. And you could possibly throw up a lot, which is honestly.
And what if you had the baby prematurely? That's what I was thinking. When I saw how fast she had the baby, I was like, holy shit. If you this almost seems like a way to abort a baby.
I know. No, I had a client who was desperate. She was like, I just want this baby out. I want to do castor oil. She was 38 weeks. I was like, do not do castor oil.
38 weeks? That's too soon.
I was like, do not do this. Like, you're just going to have diarrhea and not your baby.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. She felt sick for a full day and didn't have her baby. And I was just like, I tried to tell you, you're just going to clear out your insides, but not get a baby out. So it's very effective if you are very past your due date. It's very effective.
Yeah. The water was broken. They had done the whole swipey. She was, everything. But, and she was having the Braxton Hicks, but as soon as she had the castor oil, the,
picks up.
Hi, Allison. It's just what it is. What if your birth is one that requires immediate medical attention? So the problem, Allison, is that, and I don't have the experience you have, but the 10 women that I've known who've told me the stories of what the doctor told them, I haven't had the heart to tell them. I'm like, your doctor's a fucking idiot. He lied to you. Like, they say stuff like, your hips aren't wide enough to have this baby, or your water's been broken 24 hours. Your baby's going to die inside there. Or like, it's this is gonna be controversial, but it's tantamount to like you're walking down the street and you cross the street and some black guy says you're racist when you didn't even see him. And it's like, hey, dude, that's your fucking story. The doctors, that's the problem, I think, Allison. I think 9 out of 10 of the stories that you hear that doctors say that needed medical attention didn't. It does happen, and if it does, you want to be in a hospital. I totally agree. We wanted to have our baby in the hospital, and I remember the doctor saying to me, like, just so you know, my primary job is to look for things that are going wrong.
Yeah.
And that was kind of a red flag for me.
Yep. Let me answer this too in multiple parts.
Okay, let me add this in there, and then you can get this in there too. Emily, in 10 years, how many life and death emergencies have you had? Like Allison NYC said, no one wants to be in that case.
Okay, this is actually goes along with the previous question. Okay, this is dark. We're good to talk about a really traumatic story?
Dark away, yeah.
Okay. I was at a birth last year where a baby died after it was born, about 25 minutes after it was born. And I don't know if the woman is going to watch this, so I want to be really careful with what I say, but in my heart of hearts, I don't believe it would have happened if she was not in the hospital.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very thank you for sharing
I don't
that.
want to go into detail.
Right.
Because I've never actually asked her permission if I can share about it. Because obviously that's extremely traumatic. Now, I am not a medical professional, but I've seen perfect births, and I've seen births where here's one thing I'll say.
Can you add any more to that story? Like what happened? Like, can you talk about the cord was wrapped around its neck?
So they were
was...
worried about meconium aspiration. So when a baby poops in the womb, it's called meconium. This is common for being past 41 weeks. Now, the average length of a birth for a mom, first time mom, is 41 weeks and 2 days. And I've seen meconium at plenty of home births.
Yeah.
Is there concern? Yes. Is there fear? No. They're like, okay, your water is a little green. That means that baby likely has pooped in there. We're listening to the heart rate much more frequently, and we're making sure heart rate is staying good. That means baby is doing well. Okay. In this birth, there was meconium. When the baby came out, I've never seen so much meconium in my life. So that was alarming to me because it was an extreme amount of meconium. So
which means basically what? The baby's been breathing its own shit.
Yes, basically
okay.
It's like aspirating it, getting it into its lungs.
Okay.
Because when the baby's in utero, it has fluid in its lungs. That's why when the baby's born, all that fluid is squeezed out. But the oxygen source for the baby is the placenta, not the lungs until it's out. Okay. So was it true meconium aspiration? Maybe. I don't know for sure. Okay. So this is just my observation. But what the doctor did was said, hey, because we think we're a little bit concerned about meconium, we want to use a vacuum to get the baby out, which I think, having witnessed that for the first time ever, was the most horrifying thing I've ever seen in my life. They put a little suction cup on the baby's head while it's on the inside, and she was pulling like she was doing a 1 rep max deadlift.
On the
baby's head. There's a suction cup on the head, and then there's a little wire, and then she's got handles, and she put her foot up on the bed and was like,
the doctor's doing that.
The doctor was doing that. So you are causing major cervical distress on a baby you're already concerned about. The literal second that baby came out, she cut the cord and handed baby to pediatrics. And I'm like, you just cut off that baby's oxygen supply.
Oh, I've completely misunderstood what you said. I'm so sorry. Are you saying that you think that if it wouldn't have had medical intervention, it would have survived?
Correct.
I thought you were saying the other way.
No. The only
This is a crazy story.
This is the only true
so
emergency.
Can we go back just a second? How did you go? I pictured this. Sorry, I'm quit nicotine like 6 days ago. I'm just so trapped in my head. I'm like a premenopausal woman. Sorry. Listen. I pictured you at home. You
Oh, no,
weren't
we
at
were at the
home.
hospital. We were at
You
the
were
hospital.
at the
Yes, yes,
hospital.
yes. Yes, yes, yes.
I didn't think you could see the what's it called? The merconium? The
Meconium.
meconium. I didn't think you could see the merconium. Am I saying it right?
Meconium.
Meconium until the baby was out, but you could see it coming out of her vagina already.
Yes.
Okay.
And that
And then
sometimes happens at home too. And
right.
midwives are like, "Hey, we are seeing some meconium, but baby's heart rate is good. We are monitoring this more closely, but baby's heart rate's doing great. It's you're good."
Okay, bear with me here. I got a couple more questions or just understanding. So you're saying that up until the moment the baby comes out in an ideal situation, it's getting its oxygen from the umbilical cord. So even though you see the meconium, it's not
Yes.
necessarily getting, I think the word you use is aspirated.
Correct. Into the lungs.
But if for some reason the lungs do kick on and you got a face full of shit, meconium, you could get a lung infection.
Well, what it is basically, and it's like the meconium is so sticky, if it gets in the lungs, the baby can't breathe
Oh
because
shit, it is sticky.
it's
That shit is
very
all, oh, you
sticky.
got super glue in your lungs.
So I believe that this baby
Wow.
did have true meconium aspiration,
Yes.
but it was not even given a chance because of the medical intervention. So
Oh god.
it was horrific and a nightmare. And do nightmares happen at home? Yes. And here's what I want to say to the woman who said,
Have
"What
you ever
about
seen a
emergency?"
baby die at home? Have you seen a baby die at home?
Never. I've never been in a true emergency out of hospital. I
You never had a baby born that wasn't breathing? You had to give it mouth to mouth? You had to, like, jumpstart it?
my baby, we did give mouth to mouth. My own baby.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a true emergency. It was like, "Hey, we want to give baby a couple breaths and just help stimulate its lungs because this is just taking a little bit longer than we'd like to see for it to really go, ah! It was just kind of like
Was
he
your
was
husband shitting himself?
he was freaking out.
Yeah,
I was
I
on
was freaking that
cloud
happened to
9.
mine, yeah. I
I
was
was on cloud
freaking
9.
out. They had to jumpstart my baby
Yes.
at home. Well, I don't know if
S
they had to, but they did. They pulled the baby out and
yes.
it was dead. Like, I saw the baby, it was
That's
dead,
what
and
my
I was like
husband
I
thought.
said,
That's
"Yep,
what
that
my husband.
baby's dead." And then they jump started him, and my wife didn't know. She's just clueless, like
Yeah,
La La Land. But hey, here's the thing, if we would have been at the hospital, that baby would have never breastfed. They would have taken the baby away.
totally.
And they brought the baby back to life, and then 90 seconds later, the thing was all just
Yes, that's exactly what happened to my son. He was they said his lungs sounded a little wet. He was having trouble transitioning. It was just taking a little bit longer than they like to see. I did refuse GBS antibiotics at birth, so they were nervous about his respiratory function. Um, and
Your midwife offered you that?
yes, to let me refuse, or she offered me antibiotics.
She offered you antibiotics.
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they all do if you
Oh.
test positive for GBS, but if
What's
you
GBS again?
it's a form of strep that is in the vagina.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think I've caught that from my wife a few times.
Right? Um, so it's I've never seen a true emergency. The only true emergency I have seen out of hospital happened after I had left a birth that was literally picture perfect. And what happened was the mom had a hemorrhage and they could not find the source of the hemorrhage, so they transferred to the hospital. Um, so that was
Did you
scary.
just get a text and get in trouble for telling that story?
No, 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 no. Sorry, I
Oh,
had to
oh.
send my husband a text really quick.
No, no, it's okay. Fine, it's fine, go ahead.
No, no.
I was like, "Oh, shit, she's getting, chastised."
I yeah, I might have to talk to that woman about this, but that's okay. Um,
I have another question about that.
yeah.
So, they finally deadlift the baby out, and you're standing right there,
Mhm.
and you're supposed to be holding the space, but also an advocate for this woman and her baby.
Mhm.
And is the baby breathing when it comes out?
No. It never took a breath. It was so gnarly. And I was 34 weeks pregnant also. That was gnarly.
Yeah, that kind of puts you in shell shock a little bit.
It really made me never wanna step foot in a hospital again.
Wow. That's wild.
It was
That's
very
crazy. I was like, "Man, she's so brave for telling the story." I mean, I'm glad you told it, but I thought it was the other way around.
no.
I thought I wow.
So and I do wanna be clear, like, I have heard stories of babies dying at home, okay? It happens, and again, this is the last thing I wanna address to that original question is birth does not guarantee a living child, okay? Birth Childbirth does not guarantee a living child, and that's a gnarly, dark, fucked up thought, but
Yeah,
that's
that's hardcore.
real. That's
Yeah,
real.
yeah.
You have to accept that. Like, my husband and I talked about that while I was pregnant. He's like, "Emily, I just need to know, if I have to choose you or the baby, who do I choose?" I was like, "Me." I straight
Dude,
up said that.
I
I was
would
like,
definitely choose my wife. I don't mean to be a dick. I mean,
"No,
in
I know.
hindsight now, I would choose my kid,
I know.
but
My
at the
husband would
time
definitely choose our kid now."
but at the time, there's no fucking way.
No fucking way, because I
No
said, "I
fucking
can make
way.
another baby."
Yeah, yeah,
I was like, "Pick me, I don't wanna die."
yeah.
And now I wouldn't choose me over my kids,
Yeah, right, exactly.
but as a
Yes.
first-time mom not having experienced that love of a child, you're like, "Bro,
Well,
what."
even if she got pregnant again, I would choose my wife every time. I mean,
I
even though
know.
I understand it's intellectually flawed, I still would do it. I'm okay with choosing my wife.
It's a dark place, you gotta go
Yeah,
there. I think it's
yeah.
important to go there and really have those conversations, and my
Why
husband and
would you
I
have to choose? What could happen? I know
oh,
they
I
always say, "Well, the woman
know.
could bleed to death," but what could happen?
I think that scenario is beyond rare. I don't know. I don't know.
You
It's
can't
just
trust anything the doctors say because all the shit that they always tell the women in the hospital is just all bullshit.
Yeah, it's just an intrusive thought that he wanted to clear up before going into labor, which was
Yeah,
fair.
yeah.
Now, we did discuss, so speaking of the medical establishment and how flawed it is, I did choose to have an ultrasound with my first baby, and my baby,
That's where they put the jelly on your stomach and they
yes.
tell you, "Oh, he's got all his toes and shit."
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did all that, yeah.
Yeah. I did have
Is
one
that
for each.
bad? Should we have not done that? Is that bad?
I think less is more,
Oh,
for
okay.
multiple reasons. So I
Yeah.
chose to have, I had 2 for my first 2 pregnancies, and I only had 1 for my 3rd. But with my first pregnancy, my son had markers for Down syndrome on his brain and his heart, which means that every child born with Down syndrome has these things. This is not diagnosing your son with Down syndrome. It's just we notice these 2 things. Babies born with Down syndrome have these 2 things. And I was like, "All right, well, okay, if we have a Down
What do
syndrome
you mean
baby."
babies with Down syndrome also have eyes and a penis and a
I know.
vagina and that too? Like, I'm not sure I understand, like, what the
It's like a spot on the heart, like, it shows up as, like, a black spot, and then, like, on the brain, it's, like, another spot, and I was just like, "Okay, like, whatever, if we have a Down syndrome baby, we got a Down syndrome baby." Anyway, so we had another ultrasound at 32 weeks to check on that, and usually they're like, and they said, "You're very young, these will resolve themselves, most likely." And I was like, "Okay," because we opted out of genetic testing for our babies. Anyway, the spots were gone at 32 weeks, and everything was fine. Second baby rolls around. It's COVID lockdown. I'm by myself in this ultrasound because I have to show up to all my things alone. And my daughter had both Down syndrome markers on her heart and brain, and then one marker for trisomy 18, which is a much more severe genetic abnormality. And I was like, fuck my life. I was,
are you Jewish?
yes,
Both your parents?
just one of them, my dad.
Oh. Do you know is he Ashkenazi?
He is a carrier for Tay-Sachs.
Oh.
Is that what you're thinking?
Well, not just that, but they're just inbred as fuck. The Ashkenazi
Right?
Jews, oh, they're so crazy
I
inbred. I
don't
mean, it's
remember if
like
he is,
right. I
but he
mean,
is a,
Jews in general are pretty inbred. Like,
yeah.
and I'm Armenian, and we're crazy inbred. And then my wife's Ashkenazi. We didn't have
Yeah.
any of that stuff checked, but the kids
My
seem okay.
husband did
Is
check
he
to see,
Jewish?
his father is also Jewish.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So, he did check to see if he was a carrier for Tay-Sachs, because my dad is a carrier for Tay-Sachs. If you don't know what that is, it's this horrific degenerative disease, and you have a 25% chance of having a child with this disease, and they die by like 4 years old.
25%
Yes,
chance?
It's
If you fuck
crazy.
another Ashkenazi, 2
If both
Ashkenazis?
parents are carriers,
Oh, oh.
you have a 25% chance of having a baby with Tay-Sachs. Every single pregnancy.
Okay, sorry, I interrupted.
Anyway,
So you're in the COVID hospital by yourself. You're during
yes.
COVID, and you can't take your husband.
Correct. So then she has all these markers for genetic abnormalities, and they're like, we need to see you every 4 weeks. And you know what I did? I never went back. I was
Yeah,
like, you know
yeah.
what? I accept that not all babies make it. I have a deep acceptance of that. Is it going to be devastating? Of course. But
Yes.
I accept. And I talked to my husband, and I was like, having a home birth no matter what. Uh oh.
You're
Okay,
good,
we
you're
good?
good. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Just the
I
matrix
said,
glitch.
yeah, I said, "We're having a home birth no matter what. Even if this baby does not make it to the end of this pregnancy, I'm giving birth at home to a stillborn baby. Like, that's what I want." And my husband was like, "Same, I'm not going to the hospital." I was like, "Cool." Um, and I was not worried because I just had this sense of peace, like she was fine. And I remember at my 36-week appointment, my midwife was like, "Emily, I just want to let you know your baby's heart rate is perfection. The chances of her making it this far, if she truly had trisomy 18 with this heart rate, are extremely low." I was like, "Okay, that makes me feel better." She's like, "Most trisomy 8," and this was her, I don't know if this is completely accurate. She's like, "Most trisomy 18 babies don't make it to the end. And if they do make it, oftentimes they're stillborn or they die very quickly after birth." I was like, "Okay." She's like, "Your baby's heart rate is perfect. I don't think she's got trisomy 18." And I was like, "Okay, great." So I kind of just lived with that. And then when I went into labor, my husband was like, "Guess we're gonna find out if this one's got Down syndrome." I was like, "Oh yeah." And I was like, "Oh yeah, let's see." And she didn't. She was absolutely perfect. And so like that,
Very tough road to toe.
very tough because
To have a Down syndrome child is a lot of fucking work. It's
it
no
is.
joke. It changed your life, changed your other kid's life.
Yeah,
Mental disabilities are, um,
extremely. I
savage.
have
They
a
are
cousin who
they're
has
wild.
a severe mental disability, and it has,
Alter the course of everyone's life around them.
yeah, it
Yeah,
changed their life
yeah.
in a really sad way.
Yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun. People
No,
try to make it like hunky dory and blah blah. It's not fun.
no, it's really, really sad. She is 1 year younger than me. She turns 35 in May, and she is a 1-year-old.
Yeah, and yeah, and the things that we cherish in life, like intimacy and those things, they don't get to do that, and how it manifests as they get older and go through puberty and shit like that is brutal on them.
She has to wear a diaper.
Oh shit, she's really bad. She's
Yeah,
really off.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hey,
Um,
I got a question for you about the psychology of women wanting babies.
oh, love that.
Like, what? Why do you think women want? There's like my wife didn't want a baby, but there's some women who like just want
Oh yeah,
babies, right? But
yeah.
then when the baby but then all of a sudden one day when she was 39, she's like she saw someone breastfeeding and she's like, "Hey, I want to do that."
Wow, she had her first baby in her 40s.
39. Oh yeah, 39 for the first baby and then 43 for the twins.
Wow, cool.
CrossFitter. Yeah, you know what I mean? Just a
That is
healthy.
amazing.
Yeah. Um they told us we would never have the twins at home when we went
Mhm.
for our ultrasound.
Oh, of course.
We never went back to the doctor
And
ever
you're in
again after that.
California, right?
Yeah, illegal.
Love that.
Yeah. So, my wife tells me never to talk about it. But why I always trip I don't under I trip on this kind of notion that women want to get pregnant or want to have a husband or want to do that because as a man, when you want things, it's like you want a truck or
Right.
you wanna put your face in some titties or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you it's so,
Not
um
primal.
or it's just so superficial. I don't mean that in a negative
Sex
way, but
is
as a
primal.
man,
Sex is probably that primal urge.
but like, yeah, like you just men just want shit because like they just want to take a rock and throw it through a window because like no
Yeah.
ill intention, but we'd love to break your car window with a hammer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we don't
I
care.
have a
Like
son just like that. Yes.
yeah, yeah, we
I
don't
understand.
there's no um and sometimes I trip on the fact that some women want babies and I wonder like do they want it because, like, that's what they're supposed to be doing? Like, the same way I wanna just throw a rock and break a window because that's what I'm supposed to be doing? Or do they want a baby the same way, like, I want a big truck? Like, yesterday, I saw this truck yesterday, and I wanted it, but it's nowhere in the same category as, like, wanting my wife. It's just weird. I was just trying to picture, like, and then some women don't want babies.
Yeah.
Is that all just bullshit is all of that
Oh,
just
man.
stories, and, like, the truth is just, like, throw your legs up and find someone to love you and have a baby? Like,
I
I know I didn't ask the question very well,
No,
but
no.
there's
I
something there.
Yes. Okay, so I'll just share my experience and then maybe
Yeah,
speak on other people. Like, I knew from early childhood that I wanted babies.
yeah, okay.
Like, that was my life goal.
And where did you feel that? How did you know that?
I just loved babies. I always wanted to be around them. I can't explain the intellectual thought behind it
Okay.
because I was a
So more you
child.
liked babies more than you did you wanna be a mom too?
I wanted to be a mom.
Okay, okay.
Like, I just wanted my own babies because I
Yeah, okay.
loved babies so much. I remember my
Yeah.
high school boyfriend, he would always say, like, one thing about Emily, she loves babies. And I was
Oh.
like, "Oh, yeah, I guess that's true." I love
Sounds like he
I
was manipulating you, but with different story.
always babysat. I always was, like, camp counselor. I loved little kids, loved babies. I just thought they were so cute and funny and fun. And I just always knew I wanted my own family and wanted to be a mom. And what's interesting is as I grew up, I was a babysitter through college, not so much in college because I was, like, free and not living in my parents' house anymore, and I was, like, going out and drinking. Um, but I babysat very, very consistently through high school. Like, that was, like, my job. I didn't have a job, but I was a babysitter. And, I was the oldest of a lot of cousins. I had cousins underneath me who I was around all the time and helped when they were little babies. And then, when I went to college, like, even though I still babysat, like, that, like, maternal energy sort of turned off because I got into the mindset of career, right? I was like, "Oh, shit, I'm 21 years old. I'm gonna graduate college soon. Like, I gotta get my life together. I need a job." Because that's how I was raised. Like, my mom definitely did not raise us to view motherhood as the number one thing to strive for. We were raised in a house of career and
I've
education.
never even heard of that, by the way.
A mom telling their child that they should be a mom?
Yeah, I've never heard that.
It's not a thing. It's I think
I've never heard
my
that.
generation.
That's crazy. I've
I
never
know,
heard
dude,
that.
I know. It's I think, my grandmother's generation was probably the last generation who was raised that way, right?
That's
She just
yeah,
passed away at 94.
yeah, that's
Um,
crazy.
so, like, my mom wasn't like, find a man who has the same values as you, who you can see growing in a relationship, and who is a good father figure. I was literally never spoken to in that way about how to find a partner or how to raise a child or even revering childbearing as, like, the
Wow.
most important role.
My parents never talked to me about how to find a partner either. That's
Never.
interesting. Wow.
And I talked to my husband, I'm like, I am very proud of myself for, like,
Finding you?
knowing what I wanted. Yeah, and I wanna raise my kids to find a partner, not, like, at 20 years old, but, like, I want you to find someone who you can grow with, you know? And who is someone you'd want to have a family with. Like, don't just get a boyfriend just to, like, make out with and fuck around with. Like, find someone who is respectful, who has similar values as you, who aligns with your life goals, which is like, yes, financial success should be important, but also family success should be the most important thing. I was never raised that way. So I kind of lost that desire to be a mom. Also, I didn't want to be a 23-year-old mom. Looking back, I kind of wish I mean, I was still a young new mom, but I was like a teen mom for Los Angeles. I was 28 years old. Um,
Say that again?
I think I kind of joke that I was a teen mom in LA because I was 28 when I had my
Oh,
first.
oh, oh, oh.
um, but anyway, I
'Cause that's young
remember.
you're saying that's young in LA.
very.
Okay.
When I met Lindsay Cantu,
Yeah.
Birth at Lindsay,
Yeah.
my love of babies and birth reignited. And I was like, oh, yeah, I want to be a mom. Like, it was just this, like, oh, that's right. I turned my mother intuition off because I was like, get a job, get a job, get a job, make money, all good things.
Were you on birth control?
No, I was not.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah. Um,
That shit'll turn that shit off too, right?
oh, I know.
Right?
I was
I mean,
on,
I don't know. I'm asking.
yes,
That
it
it
will.
will.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
I was on a lot of alcohol. Even though I was CrossFitting, I
Yeah.
was training hard, partying hard.
Yeah.
Like we all did back in the day.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, my wife we were drinking hard and partying hard and up until she had the babies too.
yeah.
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 So I think,
But she saw the breastfeeding and then like I guess like you said something turned on.
yeah. So
And
to
then
kind
she
of,
got pregnant and she turned into a mom like right before my eyes.
oh yeah, it's amazing.
And she
So
just turned
amazing.
into a baby factory.
I really think, I love feminist idea. I like OG feminism. Okay. Which is like equal, women are equal, we have the same rights. But I also think it's caused a lot of problems because
Even driving.
and voting and property owning. A lot to be
You get
questioned.
to pick two. Pick two. I'll give you. You get to
Oh,
pick two. Driving or voting or property rights. You only get two.
okay. I choose driving and I choose property owning.
Smart.
Yeah.
Smart. I would just choose property. If you had to reduce me to one, I'd choose
Yeah.
property owning.
Yeah. Okay. I think not all women are born with that maternal instinct.
Did it
Due
change
to
your who you're attracted to with men? When
being a
you
mom.
turned no, when you turned on when you went from career woman to mom mode, mom career, were you like, "Oh, my perception of who I'd be attracted to changed?"
I think what changed was I never really thought about the intellectual attraction I had with men that I dated before my husband. It was just kind of like you're hot and you work out and we have fun together and we have
Yeah,
like fun conversation.
right.
And I like never felt like it wasn't worth it on one hand, but then when I started dating my husband, who's a lot older than I am, by the way, um, I was like, wow, this is
How much
like
older is he?
he is 16 years older than me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's 50.
that's a lot.
I know, he'll be 52 this year. Um, yeah, it's a lot older. But we are intellectually, like, very well matched, and that's not, like, a dig at him or, like, saying I'm amazing. It was just, like, I felt like this was the first time in my life I was really being, like, seen for who I am, not what I look like.
Mm,
And that was great, and that was the first time where I was like, "Oh, I can actually picture a future growing with this person." We talked about our future kids. We talked about like what we would be like as parents and what was desirable to us and what we wanted that to look like. It was the first time that I had gotten on a serious level with somebody about not superficial stuff. And I was like, so in a way, it changed my attraction, but I mean, physical attraction is still important. But it was the first time where I was like, every other guy that I dated before him just seemed like a total dud in terms of like intellect with me. And maybe they aren't, but that's just because I wasn't well matched with them.
right.
So that's what changed for sure. But I don't think that all women are born with that maternal instinct. I've met plenty of women who have the same type of feelings as your wife, where they're like, I can't picture it. I can't see myself as a mom. And then all of a sudden they meet the right guy or they get pregnant by accident or whatever, not planned, and they transform. I do
Yeah,
believe all women have it in them, but it's not on the surface for all women.
yeah. I um I I do think that a woman who doesn't have a baby is missing out. Like there's some
I agree.
adaptation that and my mom used to tell me that. She's like, "Hey man, you want to have kids?" I'm like, "No, I don't." She's like, "You do." I'm like, "What do you mean?" And all she would ever tell me, she's like, "I know you, and I know you're really gonna enjoy that shit."
Yeah.
She's like, you're gonna really you're gonna party."
I
And I was
know.
like, "She's out of her fucking mind." But
I
she was
know.
right. It's like I wake up every morning like I got a new car in the like, I can't even
Yeah.
believe waking up. Pat, you can't trust anything the doctors say because it's all bullshit. I know you think you're being funny, Pat. Pat, do you know that, Pat, on average, that a medical procedure lasts 7 years before it's considered like barbaric and archaic?
Woof.
That's the life of a surgery, dude. Do you know that the third? I mean, this is being very, very generous, Pat. This is being very conservative. The third leading cause of death in the world is medical interventions. I mean, dude,
So right.
you are so asleep at the wheel, dude. Here's the thing. I always have the option to use my own discernment to figure out what a doctor's telling me. You don't. You fucking grab your ankles, bro. And that's okay. I still love you for that. But remember, that's the distinction between me and you. Okay, we got let's I'm gonna pull up some questions. It makes it crazy that she recommends taking castor oil to induce birth. Taking castor oil stimulates the baby to poop in the womb and creates the issue.
Okay. Like I said, it's
Oh, look,
very
you went into doula mode. I like it.
it's very, very common and considered normal for there to be meconium in the womb past 41 weeks, regardless of castor oil. I have seen tons of meconium births where there is no castor oil involved. It is a common thing past 41 weeks. And the average length of pregnancy for a first-time mom is 41 weeks and 2 days. I actually do not recommend castor oil willy-nilly because, like everything, there are adverse events. Do you know what the adverse events are for Pitocin? Does that lady
Oh
know?
god.
Does
Oh
she
my
know?
god. Oh my god.
Do you know what the adverse events of a C-section are? Do you know what the adverse events of fentanyl are? Do you know what the adverse
Hey,
events
no,
of it?
what's crazy is no one does.
No one does.
They don't even study it. They don't even
I
know. They don't
I
even know.
actually really hesitate to recommend castor oil. But meconium happens anyway. It doesn't happen to everyone, but it happens anyway. And when you cut off baby's blood supply and oxygen supply, then we run into problems potentially. And yes, meconium aspiration can happen at a home birth where castor oil wasn't involved at all, and there can be serious complications there. Okay. But plenty. Did you guys hear about the woman that died in childbirth a couple weeks ago?
No.
It was
No.
all over Instagram. Okay, so this woman, I don't know the birth story,
Your
but for
algorithm's different than mine.
yeah. For whatever reason, she had a C-section and she experienced something called amniotic fluid embolism. And that is where the amniotic fluid got into her bloodstream. It is a much higher risk when you have a C-section to have it. I did not even know what this was till I read this story. And I was like, how does this not happen every time? But the amniotic fluid gets into your bloodstream and you die almost instantaneously. And that is what happened to this woman because of a C-section.
The fluid that's in the baby bag gets
Yes.
into your bloodstream.
Got
Why is
into
that
her
bad?
blood.
Why is that bad for your bloodstream?
I don't know. I don't
Oh.
know exactly why it's so life-threatening.
Yeah.
Can read about it on Chat GPT, I'm sure. But like we are not given informed consent when it comes to intervention in the hospital. If you think like I'm the problem because I recommend castor oil once every maybe 30 births, you have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, fair enough. What's that thing that they do? There's these things where they take a needle and they poke it into the baby, the mom's stomach, and
That's an amniocentesis.
then they go into the sac, and then they
Mhm.
take something out of the baby, and then they
Yeah.
pull out and test it. Someone was telling me they were having that done. I'm like, don't do that. They're like, why? I'm like, hey, dude,
Like, let's think about this
your
for a
wife's
second.
pregnant, and they're putting a needle in her stomach into the sac, into the baby,
Ugh.
and then pulling it out. And then I asked some there was a doctor with us. I was like, what happens to that hole in the sac? And they're like, well, you hope it heals shut before all the fluid pours out. I'm like, what the What is
Dude,
that? What is that
an
test?
amnios, okay, so when women are in their first trimester, most of them, because they don't know their rights,
Yeah.
agree to getting genetic screened. So they draw mom's blood. This is
Mhm.
what I said we didn't do. So they draw mom's blood and they screen it for any genetic abnormalities like Down syndrome, like trisomy 18. But it's my blood, okay?
Yeah.
To screen the baby for any genetic abnormalities because they're assuming I don't have Down syndrome, I don't have trisomy 18. So if any of this is picked up, it must be the baby, right?
Yeah.
Um, they're extremely inaccurate, and it's a screen, meaning it's non-diagnostic because it's my blood, not the baby's blood. So if I have a genetic screen come up as positive for Down syndrome or positive for trisomy 18, and many women would want to abort a trisomy 18 baby, and that's a whole nother conversation. The only way to diagnose a baby in utero, besides ultrasound, which you can detect for Down syndrome sometimes, the only way to properly diagnose is an amniocentesis. So they're not taking anything out of the baby, they are drawing amniotic fluid out of the womb and testing that. And that is a diagnostic situation. It's also not always correct. It's not perfect. So it's basically like I would only recommend anyone get an amniocentesis if they want to terminate a pregnancy, but I don't advocate for that, so I don't recommend that. They're extremely high risk.
It's like, t 20 years ago, I remember learning about what a biopsy was, a tumor. And I remember I was it was with a veterinarian who was biopsying a cancerous tumor on a dog.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Hey," he's like, "What?" I'm like, "You stick a needle in that and poke that thing and you think there's cancer in there?" And he goes, "Yeah." I'm like, "And it ruptures it, right?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I'm like, "And you're saying that that tumor is the body trying to contain the cancer?" And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "So you poke that thing." I go, "What does any cancer leak out?" He goes, "No, it doesn't work like that." Now 20 years later, like, now I'm reading all about that shit
Yep.
that doctors are like, "Holy shit, testing tumors is causing the cancers to spread." And I'm like, "Hey, dude, that's like second grade shit. You hit the beehive and the bees are coming out."
Yeah. Yeah. Like when you say
It's like
here
it's the same with COVID, right? It's like, they're like, "Hey, we're giving it to kids." I'm like, "But you just say kids aren't dying." The
the
vaccine.
shot, right?
Yeah, but for some
Uh
reason, I don't understand why people can't just like, I don't understand, Pat, why can't you just use your own discernment once in a while? Just a little
it's
bit.
well, because we didn't go to medical school, of course. We're dumbasses.
That's to program them to think the way they I mean, I know I'm preaching to the choir.
Yeah. It's incredibly frustrating, and again, I'm not saying midwives are perfect and home birth is perfect every time. Birth does not guarantee life. It doesn't.
Hey,
But the standard of care outside of the hospital is there's no comparison. You can't talk shit on it if you've never experienced. If anyone talks shit on home birth to me and if they've never experienced it, I'm like, okay,
yeah.
you have no idea. You don't know. You don't know what the standard of care is like.
Um,
Much like Eastern doctors versus the Western standard of care.
there's times in my life when the last thing I want is someone asking me a question. I'm doing something or I'm in a state of mind, do not ask me a fucking question. I'm in no place to make a fucking decision. And I still don't think that's anywhere near where a woman goes when she's having a baby. And so to put her in a situation in a hospital where there's going to be 500 questions seems absolutely batshit crazy to me.
It is a hospital birth. Okay. The desired outcome of a hospital birth is live mom, live baby. That's
Yeah,
it. That's the bare minimum. That's
yeah,
all
yeah,
they care about, which
yeah.
obviously is freaking important.
Right.
But there's no greater
You're right. That's what our
care.
doctor told us. That's what our
Yes,
doctor told us.
all they
The
care
number one concern is safety at all times,
all times
at any cost.
at any cost.
Right.
Now, you might have wonderful midwives in a hospital, which we do in Austin, but they're still governed by the system. Like there's still things they cannot do because the hospital says XYZ.
Yeah.
The hospital birth benefits the hospital. It's a business. Yes, they don't want you to die. Of course, I don't want you to want me to die if you're my doctor,
The
but this
system protects Sorry to interrupt. The system protects your ability to kill your baby, and that same system protects the baby from you just deciding you want to have it. Like a woman doesn't have the right to do whatever she wants with her birth her baby however she wants.
It's a fight from the moment you enter
It's
to the moment you leave.
that doesn't even make sense.
You don't wanna do postpartum interventions for yourself or your baby, you are going to have like, dude, I want to have a hospital birth so bad just so I can call the cops on the staff because that's what I would do. I would be
What wait, tell me that story. If you have a baby in a hospital, you have to do postpartum stuff?
like the placenta, the doctor pulling this placenta out, I would scream in her face, "Don't fucking touch me." And I would scream at her,
And
"If
you
you
probably
touch."
can't take it home even though it's yours, right?
Correct.
You can't
Actually,
just like you
some let you do, some let you
okay.
do,
I was gonna like, you should be able to take it and put it in your pocket if you want.
yes,
It's yours.
you have to bring a cooler and you have to, like, prep it all yourself, but
Yeah.
they will let you if you tell them. I would scream at them to not pull on my placenta. If they said, "Oh, your child needs, formula because its blood sugar is low," I'd be like, "No, get out of here. Don't ever say that again." Like, every step of the way, they're like, "Oh, the baby needs this because of this." Well, did you know that colostrum can help with that? Did you know that skin to skin can help with that? Did you know that you leaving me the fuck alone can help with that? Go
Right.
away. Um, and when it comes to the shots the babies receive postpartum, there are 3 medical interventions that baby receives postpartum. Almost every hospital is that I have encountered, at least here, is very cool with refusing interventions for baby. You just have to sign like a refusal form. I had to do that with my midwives as well. Like, it's pretty standard. Um but some hospitals are like, "Why don't you want to give your baby vitamin K?" It's like, "'Cause I don't want to." "Okay, but did you know blah, blah, blah?" I said, "I don't want to." And they'll push you a little bit. Even if they're kind, I want to believe they're all doing it because they believe it's what's the right thing to do. They don't know
Yeah.
any better. But you have to have these annoying conversations every step of the way, potentially, not every single time. And it's like, leave me alone. Just leave me alone. Leave my baby alone. Leave me alone. Why do you think this is better? Tell me why. And some doctors, sometimes where you're at risk of child protective services being called is like if you refuse something and they say no, you cannot refuse this. I was dealing with a woman like this, maybe in the last 2 years. We were just texting. She's like, they're threatening calling child protective services because this. Now I really can't remember what happened. I said, good. Like, as scary as it is, you are. And I was not advising her. I was just like, this. She's like, this is what my midwife friend is telling me to do. I was like, I agree with that. I agree with that. Like, and Child Protective Services came to her house because the hospital called CPS on her, and CPS said, "We're doing a check. Everything that they told us does not seem like the case here. Like, we're actually going to report the hospital for calling us." And I was like, well, that's
Oh.
fucking
Oh,
shocking.
shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it was just an aggressive, like power move, like, "We're gonna call CPS on you if you don't do this." It's like, excuse me?
W
Like, it's crazy.
when a woman has a baby, um, just, like, goes in the backyard and has a baby,
Mhm.
does she I'm trying to think of, like, the most profound life experiences I had. Nothing's popping to mind. And maybe the first time I took a girl's bra off. That's sad.
Right?
But, um, does she get an experience that, uh, changes her life forever? Like, besides the fact that you get the baby, like, I mean, there's some I'll just say it bluntly. Does a woman who has a baby in a hospital, um, let's say she only has 1 baby, or let's say she has 3 babies, she only gets 3 shots at this, but there's an opportunity to have a journey that's so profound and life-changing that if you go to a hospital and take Pitocin and the epidural and have all that stuff that you miss, like,
Oh, yeah.
some ability,
I understand what you're saying.
y like, imagine if you went to a tournament to fight and you were scared and you didn't fight, like a jujitsu tournament, and
Sure.
then your whole life you're like, "Fuck, dude.
Yeah.
So what? I should have at least gone in there and lost." Like, you know what I mean? Like, you missed, like, because 'cause you're a pussy, you missed. Um,
So I really believe that childbirth is the last. rite of passage that exists in the modern world,
Like for man or woman.
man or woman.
Yeah, I don't
We
know if
don't
men
we
have
don't
one. Yeah,
we don't go to war like we used to. Men don't go to war like Vikings, you know? They're not
yeah.
like, "We're fucking protect our territory and just I will die for my country," type of thing. Like, maybe men have that energy here and they sign up for the military and that's.
I post on Instagram when I feel that energy.
I hear that. I think that's a much better idea. Um, I have my obviously issues with the military, but I commend that a attitude. I very much commend and respect it. I will never let my child partake in that. But,
Look at
um,
someone even knows she's the Viking woman from Deuce.
yeah. Oh, there you go. That's me. Um, so it is the last true rite of passage. And do I judge a woman for choosing a medicalized birth? Yeah, I do. I'm not gonna lie, I do. But do I do it to her face? No, I support a woman's choice. Do I try really hard to get her out of that place of fear and disbelief that she can't do it? Like I just don't like pain. I'm so scared of the pain. Well, fucking so was I. But
Yeah.
I wanted to
I was
feel it.
scared. I was scared. I
Yeah.
wasn't even having the baby. I didn't tell my wife, but I was like, "Oh, she's fucked."
I know. Like, it is very scary. It's this
Yeah,
complete unknown. It's like
yeah,
going to outer space. Like, I get why people go to outer space. That might be another like rite of passage. It's like the final frontier, right? Your beliefs about space aside,
yeah.
I understand the desire and I admire that feeling. Um, are they missing out on something when you get a medicalized birth? Like, obviously, you are. You're missing your true potential as a woman. I'm not taking away the power and the glory and the absolute transformation that occurs when you have a medicalized birth. Absolutely. It is incredible. The best, most life changing day of your life. Um, and that's not how the humans were meant to give birth. Am I grateful Western medicine exists for true emergencies? Of course I am. My own sister had to have a C-section. She started at a home birth, transferred to the hospital, and had a C-section, non-emergent. But it happens sometimes, and I'm grateful for that care. Do I think she missed out? On one hand, sure, she missed out on that home birth that she so desired, and she's grieving that. And so there's no like shame, but she chose her desired path was how God intended humans to give birth. Um, Outright choosing a medicalized birth out of fear, not out of true medical necessity, different things. Yeah,
No one
it's a,
even
it's a
really knows what
bummer.
that is anymore because Pat Lang because doctors lie to you because the only thing they're concerned about is, the living part
We talk in my
at all
class
costs.
we talk in my class about induction versus for doctor's convenience versus induction for true medical necessity. And there are very few true medical necessities that I would ever recommend
But
getting
your hips
in.
aren't big enough, Miss
Yeah.
Stanwyck. Your hips aren't
Yeah,
big
you're
enough.
old. Um,
Yeah, they told me
yeah.
they would have told my wife that at
Oh,
43 with
yeah,
the twins.
43
The
weeks.
the lady who was doing the ultrasound literally looked at my wife and goes, "Oh, you won't be having a home birth here." She's like, You'll be having a C-section." She told my wife that, and my wife went like she went to the car and burst into tears. She goes, "Is
Oh,
that true?" I'm like, "No, you have the babies. They're yours.
yeah.
You fucking shit them out wherever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
they're yours."
And you know,
And by the
I
way, when I say my wife asked me that, she just asked me that for comfort. She does whatever the fuck she wants. You know what I
yeah.
mean? She wasn't like really
Oh, totally,
asking me.
totally.
She was like,
I hear that.
you know what I mean? It was just like like I was a sounding board for her. I just happened to be there when she said it out loud. My
Mhm,
wife asked me a
mhm.
lot of shit, but about the kids, she don't ask me shit. Like
Yeah.
I remember when she's like, "We're not getting the kids vaccines." I'm like, "Oh fuck, I married a crazy bitch."
Yeah, good.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, it's a trip, man, and it's emotionally exhausting. And and then there's wonderful experiences. Like I was out of birth last Monday and I caught the baby because the midwife was late. She missed it.
Oh, how fun.
It was awesome. So that was my first baby that I ever caught with my own hands, besides my own. And it was incredible. And it was picture perfect. She didn't need anything. No hemorrhage. Baby started crying and was pink within like 10 seconds. Absolutely perfect. It was amazing.
Pat, listen, buddy. I've never heard this story in my life, but I've heard a million stories the other way, and I'm so happy for you. The bullshit here is phenomenal. Thank you. Everything I do is phenomenal, I think. My wife begged for an induction, and they told her absolutely not, and she knew all the doctors at the hospital. That's awesome. There's so many crazy things in the story. First of all, I can't even believe your wife knew her doctor. I mean, because when I asked my wife's doctor if they'd be in the hospital when my wife had the birth, I got yelled at, and I was told, "What, you think I work 24 hours a day?" So that's amazing that you knew all the doctors, and it's amazing that your wife begged for an induction and they told her. I've never heard that. That's congratulations, buddy.
Here's what I'll say to that. I don't want to shit on anyone's birth experience because as a society, we are not mentally
We are not
prepared.
shitting on it, but he's taking
No.
it that way.
Oh,
We're not.
100%.
We're not.
Yeah.
We're
But
not.
I'll still take the high road because we are not mentally prepared as a society to handle the intensity of childbirth. So when a woman begs for an induction, which does happen a lot because they're so over it, they're so miserable, everyone around them is
Yeah,
trying.
I would beg for one, I bet. I'm a bitch.
Yeah. It makes sense. Like it makes sense. And if the doctors tell her no, good for them. Inductions
Have
are
you ever
fucking
heard of that,
horrible.
though? Have you ever heard of a doctor saying no?
No, I haven't.
Here's the only one. I think my sister told me this. Sorry, Tanya, if this isn't right. I think my sister asked for the drugs, and they're like, "Yo, bitch, you went too far. We told you had to get them 15 minutes ago. Now the window closed." So
Sure.
she
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Yeah.
she
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's the only I think that was like I
But
bet you
that's an
that's what happened.
epidural. That's not an induction.
Oh, what's the difference?
Epidural is the painkiller.
Oh, yeah, and what's induction's the Pitocin?
Induction is the Pitocin, or there's a couple other drugs. Pitocin is the one that's most commonly used that
Yeah.
stimulates contractions. Epidural is the painkiller. So maybe she was begging for an epidural. I've never really. When women beg for an induction, they're just like so exhausted at the end of pregnancy. They're like, "Please, I just want this baby out." The only time I can imagine a doctor saying no to a woman asking to be induced is if she asked at like 36 weeks and was like, "Can we just get? I want the baby out now."
Yeah.
Like they might be like, "No, that's a preemie. Like we're not doing that." I feel like anytime after 37 weeks, between week 37 and 38, a doctor still might say no if everything's perfect, because that's still technically considered preterm. Even though 37 weeks is borderline full term, midwives consider 37 weeks full term, which is good if your baby comes early, quote unquote. But I don't know if a doctor would induce you between week 37 and 38 just because you're over it. I don't know. After 38 weeks, if you want to get
Yes,
induced,
yes,
they're going to be
yes.
like, let's go.
I know women. I can think of a half dozen women who scheduled their birth from the day, like at 9 weeks.
Yeah.
They scheduled their birth at 38 weeks. They went to the hospital. They cut the
Yeah.
baby mama open and harvested the baby. Hey, John, I don't think this is true what you're saying. I think it's misleading. I'm a paramedic, and 99% of births are normal and uneventful. But when shit hits the fan with home birth, it's not good. Hospital births aren't bad. Here's the thing. I think if you're going to say 99 out of 100 home births are good, I'm going to tell you only 75
You
out of
don't know. I wonder
out
how
of
old you are. How old you are, John? How old are you, John?
I'm going to say, John, only 75 out of 100 hospital births are good. And let me explain to you a couple things. A baby's born, and the first breath it takes is sheets that have been bleached in Clorox. The first hands it touches are some strange man wearing fucking latex gloves. The lights in that room are of some sort of fucking rays that a baby shouldn't be the first rays on them. The voices in that room, the smells, the poking of the feet. Check out the few studies they've done when they do all those pokings on the bottom of babies' feet. Those are fucking completely fuck the
Here's
neurological
what I want to
development of the
say.
heel. I mean, it's nuts to what happens in the hospital is so different than what happens at home. You would never, if you were just at one home birth and it
That
was your baby, you wouldn't believe how differently you feel.
I've had a number of firefighter paramedic husbands be very, very, very freaked out, and their wives are adamant, like, you need to trust me. We're doing this out of the hospital. I have to do a lot of work easing the fears of the men who are in the medical emergency field.
Yeah.
Okay. John, you see emergencies. And like I said multiple times, it happens. Life is not a guarantee
Yeah.
when you go into birth. Okay.
Life's not a guarantee when you go into a hospital
Life's
either.
not a guarantee when you get in a car,
Yeah.
John. We all know this shit. You are a savior and a protector and I don't mean that in a
Yes.
negative
No, no,
connotation.
he
You
is,
are
for
a
sure.
protector and you save lives, and we are so grateful for that. Birth is not an emergency all the time. 99% of births go well. Is that what he said?
Yeah, home births, yeah.
Bro, no. 99% of hospital births go well. You don't know shit about shit if that's what you think. Okay, 89% of women in America use epidurals. Do you know the adverse
Is
reaction
that
of
really true?
89%?
So you're telling me
I'm
only
sorry,
11
79%. 79%.
so you're saying most women don't know what it's like to go through that birthing process?
79% of women have epidural births. That is a spinal tap. I have talked to many anesthesiologists who are like, I do not like doing epidurals. The margin of error is so small. You can hit a wrong, like, there are so many risks involved with these meds. Are they good at it most of the time? Sure. Do women need it? No, they don't need it. Are hospital births good? That's like saying sleeping in a pile of shit is good because you still slept that night. It's not
Yeah, yeah,
good,
yeah,
but you
yeah,
still slept, right?
yeah,
Okay, your baby was born and you survived. That's good.
yeah.
So if that's what you mean, yes, good. That is such a low bar. Such a low
Do
bar.
you like fielding these questions on,
Oh yeah, it's fine.
hey, do you know this would be do you know of any shows where they do that? Do you know that this show would kill if I had someone on from BirthFit once a month? Because it's so controversial, like,
Yeah.
we could throw some other crazy shit in there too, like, "Don't eat sugar, it causes
I'm
cancer."
squinting
People
because I can't read. I gotta put on my glasses. Okay.
Chris Bucci,
Now you know I'm actually 36.
those are nice glasses. I
Thank
was
you.
scheduled for inductions with my last 2 because of GHT. What's that?
Okay. I believe that is gestational hypertension. That's high blood pressure.
Oh,
Um,
and by the way, Trish, that's wh this isn't to dig at you, those are one of those things that I just don't believe, like, a gestational diabetes and shit like that, I don't believe in that, but
okay,
anyway,
so
like, you can't tell
um
my wife her blood sugar's high when I know all she eats is fucking steaks and you made her
hypertension
drink
is not
yeah,
diabetes though. Okay, so let's talk about the
right.
difference. High
Let me just
blood
finish
pressure.
this, and then you
Okay,
can say
okay.
this. And both times delivered naturally after membrane sweep. That's awesome. Membrane sweep, by the
Awesome.
way, for people is when they stick the finger in the vagina and they do one of these.
I had that too for my third.
Yeah, they did that to my wife. I like that. I
So
wanted to
okay,
do that.
high blood pressure is really
Yeah.
serious in pregnancy, and that is one of the things that I talk about in my class where an induction can be a very smart idea. If I had gestational hypertension, I would do everything I could nutritionally to get my blood pressure down. I would do acupuncture, I'd get chiropractic care, and I would do everything in my power, spend all my damn money on lowering my blood pressure naturally. You can do that. It is very stress related, but it is also very nutritionally related. It is nervous system out of whack. Okay. Sometimes you can't get your blood pressure down, and what that turns into is preeclampsia, and that is extremely serious. If I had preeclampsia as a home birth mom, I would go get a C-section personally. I would
What
not
is
even
preeclampsia?
extreme high blood pressure in
Oh,
pregnancy, and the risk is that mothers have a stroke and die, which happens. It's in hospitals because our doctors trained in nutrition.
no.
No, they're not. So they don't advise on any nutritional things for women to do to manage their blood pressure. They just say, we need to induce you. Then they put this already stressed out body under all these meds and just like think it's going to be fine. And a lot of the times it is fine. The baby's born and alive and the mother is alive. Okay. But we can manage hypertension and preeclampsia well before it becomes a situation where you need to induce. If you think this is bullshit, go read a book, okay?
Yeah.
Um it's not. You can manage blood pressure with nutrition, but we're all fat and sick. Not calling you fat, Trish,
No,
but
no, no, she did a good job.
you did a
It's not
great
yeah, yeah,
job.
she did a great job.
Um we don't know how to tell people who are unhealthy that they're unhealthy in a real way and say like you're fat. You need to manage your shit and eat better. Like stop eating Taco Bell. I don't know what to tell you. I've heard women
It is weird for me to I'm gonna be completely honest, it is weird for me when I see fat women pregnant. Like,
gosh,
really, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm talking about, like, a woman who's 50 pounds overweight.
very, very obese. Yes, if a
Yeah,
woman
I'm
is big
tripping,
and
I'm like,
curvy, that's not
"Wow."
what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
I'm a big woman. I'm not
How tall
overweight.
are you?
I'm 6'1".
Oh, yeah.
But like my BMI is obese, okay? Um, but we don't go
Mine
by that.
too. Mine too.
Anyway, yeah. Um, doctors do not teach you how
How
to
tall is your
manage.
husband? How tall is your
He's
husband?
also 6'1".
Oh,
We're the
okay.
same height, yeah.
Okay.
I only used to date super tall, hot guys who were not intellectually on my level, and then I met my husband who's my same size, so
Okay,
it's
sorry, I
okay.
keep interrupting. What about obese?
No, so, no, like, I would choose intervention. If I had true preeclampsia that was not being managed by lifestyle factors, that is a life-threatening situation where I would probably forego induction and choose a C-section myself. Because I would not want to risk all those meds in my body when I'm already in a very stressed out state. Now, the reason is because an induction can just be very long, and I would just rather get the baby out and do a C-section in a sound mental state where I am choosing every step of the way. And even though there's major risks to a C-section, when they're life saving, it's extremely beneficial. Um, but I know how to manage my blood pressure. But in the severe case, that's something like I know a woman who's extremely healthy and her husband's a chiropractor. They do all the things right. And she had no signs of preeclampsia. And in labor, she developed extreme onset preeclampsia and had to go to the hospital immediately. And I don't know if she had a C-section. I can't remember, but it was extremely serious. And so like I'm grateful that exists. But so to your story, like when you have gestational hypertension, that is like not yet preeclampsia. That is still manageable. You can still have an at-home labor. Many midwives will risk you out and say, this is not worth the risk to me. I'd rather go to the hospital. Some midwives see like, okay, if you are managing this and you're in labor, we'll start you gently with a membrane sweep and your blood pressure does not spike during labor. We are still safe to do this at home. And which is what, maybe she wasn't at home, maybe she was at the hospital, but you can still safely have a baby with elevated blood pressure without medical intervention. It's when it crosses that line of severe high blood pressure that medical intervention can be life-saving. That's great. But you got to know the difference. You just can't be scared into intervention and not know.
This would be a huge show. Just fielding this would be God. There needs to be a birthing show.
Yes. Okay. This is.
My buddy's putting it to this girl. My buddy's going to get this girl pregnant, like probably in the next 5 years. This girl, Maris. They gave my brother's wife Pitocin, then said she needed an emergency C-section because the baby's heart rate was too low.
Yes.
But he said he could see the panel and their son's heart rate wasn't lower than the other babies.
Interesting. So I don't know that for sure, but what I do know is one of the risks of Pitocin is fetal distress because Pitocin makes the uterus contract intensely. Like obviously contractions are intense, but it's like 0 to 60 real fast. The intensity of and the force of the contraction can cause baby's heart rate to dip and stay low. That's what fetal distress is. It's the heart rate dip. And so that is a very common thing that occurs with Pitocin. I'm going to walk to the baby monitor because I realized I don't have it in here, but I'm still on.
Okay. I'll read you another question. Ready?
Yep.
I never thought I would not get an epidural. Then I heard about all the women that get lifelong back issues from the botched epidurals.
Yes. Also a thing. So like I said, it's a spinal tap and it's a nerve block. And I had a friend who texted me a couple days after she got home from the hospital. I was like, I can't walk upstairs. Like I can't lift my leg up. I was like, did you get an epidural? And she said, yeah. I was like, okay, you need to go to a chiropractor today. And most women don't know that is a very good option if you have a botched epidural or you have chronic pain in your back after the epidural, because doctors don't refer people to chiropractors because then they would not have as much work to do, would they? But yes, that is also a very common side effect of epidural is chronic pain, chronic back issues, loss of function of parts of your body. Like it's a serious situation. An epidural is gnarly. But seeing a chiropractor after you get an epidural is an absolute must.
Here's the thing that's that I know that's the uphill battle. So I heard a birth story from a young girl the other day, and it was the picture perfect birth of like from the Brady Bunch, right? Mm-hmm. She got pregnant. She was on the pill. She got off the pill. She got pregnant. They went to the doctor. They You know what I mean? They got everything.
Mhm.
They got everything lined up. The baby got they had the epidural. They had the pitocin. The baby came out. The baby got the vitamin K shot. It got the HPV vaccine. It got the 75 pricks on the feet to test for protein. And they brought the baby home. And now the baby wears Pampers, and the baby and the mother's pumping, and
Mhm.
um and they got pacifier, and I'm just like, it's always like a young 23 to 27-year-old girl who's on that journey, right? Like they just
It so depends. I think it's less about age and more about
okay,
mindset.
okay, then let me rephrase that. You're right. I don't feel like women who are that young have had the opportunity to like think outside the box, because like if I always see, you
There's
always
definitely
see
something to that for sure.
this route, like you just see this is the route everyone's taking. But when you stop and think for one fucking second about a pacifier, like a pacifier is like absolutely batshit crazy.
I'm with you. We never did pacifiers.
Fucking like n like you're retarded. Like you didn't think, "It's okay. It's okay. I get it." You just didn't think, a circumcision. Like
Mhm. I just
you
posted
only
about a whole thing about circumcision on my story
you only
yesterday.
gotta do like, you just gotta watch, American Circumcision, the movie on Netflix.
Mhm.
Just watch it. Like, I get why you do it, because just everyone's doing it. It's like where the herd is just
Mhm.
going over the waterfall. But like if
Mhm.
you just do, it's like fucking nuts.
Literally think about it. Just, like, think about it for more than 1 second.
But it's, like, really bad.
Yeah.
It's not like a little bit bad. It's like, but, you're it's like, you know when they tell kids, "Hey, doing drugs is bad." And kids don't believe it because, like, "Hey, I was up doing cocaine all night, and then I went to school the next day. I did
I'm
acid, I'm
fine.
fine." Yeah, but it's not, then you're 32 and you're like, "Hey, why am I different
You're a
than
little
everyone else?"
brain dead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like that.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
surrounded by people who are like, "I turned out okay," and it's like,
Mhm.
"Dude, you have no fucking baseline."
It's wild, man.
You have by the way, I watched your circumcision thing. I don't know if, you remember this part, but did you know that the same membrane that holds your fingernail to your finger is the membrane that holds your foreskin to the helmet of the penis?
Interesting. I didn't know that.
And that when you and that eventually what happens is that membrane attaches to the head of the oh, do you have to go?
Well, the baby's up. We can wait a couple minutes.
Okay, I'll finish the penis story. The membrane attaches to the head of the penis somewhere at some point in the boy's life, 5 or 6 or 7 years old, and then the skin finally releases and can go back. When they circumcise a child, they rip off that membrane,
Yes.
and there's more nerves there than in the entire
Yes.
body. And
Yes.
so I did notice at some point when I would talk to my cohort of boys in school about sex, they were way more cerebral about sex, and I was way more central. Like our story, like they would, and even now
Mhm.
when I hear boys talk about sex, I'm like, wow, that's really not like what it's like for me.
Mm.
Like they're into like stories, and I'm like, ooga booga, squeeze the toothpaste, done. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Mhm.
They're like not present and shit. They're like,
It
and I
is.
was like, wow. And I always started making that connection. I wonder if that's what it is. I wonder if they have to do that because the fucking vast majority of nerve endings on their penis have been fucking ripped away.
Something that I
I
wanna
just made
leave
that theory up. I just made it up.
I mean, I could do a whole nother podcast on circumcision because
Yeah, I love dick
it's
talk.
a very important topic to me, because I
I
think
like my circumcised. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, there's some beautiful circumcised
well,
penises.
you're a grown
Yeah,
man, and
yeah.
if my son wants to get circumcised when he's a grown man, do whatever the hell you want. I don't care, but you get to make that decision.
It is much different to do it when you're older.
Yes, true.
Once that membrane is attached to the helmet.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um, Something that I'll leave with, because this is what I want all the people who are, like, ultra concerned that I'm just some, like, psycho off the street telling women to, like, not listen to doctors, whatever, think what you want, I really don't care. Um, my whole ethos when it comes to childbirth and newborn care is honoring a peaceful transition. That sounds good, right? That sounds nice.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you
Honoring a
sounded
peace
like Trump there. I like that.
Awesome. Honoring a peaceful transition for mother and baby. If you say 99% of hospital births are good, fine. If you mean by that they're alive. Good. That is good. Is it peaceful? Was it trauma free? Was it empowered? I don't even really like that word, but did the mother feel emotionally well on the other side? That's an important metric for me. Was baby undisturbed? Was the mother's asshole undisturbed after the birth? Did she, or was the doctor just scraping everything away right away? You know
Oh,
what? Who
oof.
was anyone violated, like assaulted, honestly? Because that's what it looks like to me when I watch births. It looks like an assault because it is so barbaric when the postpartum doctor is just all up in there and pulling everything and sewing everything up so fast. I'm like, yo, you need to relax. Honoring a peaceful transition is a lot better than good, in my opinion. And so when I say the things that I say, it's for that, not just good. Good is good,
Yeah.
but I want better than good. I want excellent. I want I want to change the course of how we view birth and experience birth in this country because it is third world shit in my opinion.
Yeah, it is.
It really is.
Oh, one final thing. Did you see what Nicole Shanahan posted
I
this
did.
morning?
Oh, not this morning. No.
Or
I saw
maybe it
what
was
she
yesterday?
about Casey Means.
Yeah, and she basically suggested that RFK's been captured. Her running mate, she suggested that RFK's been is like they got like him like sucking a dick in a bathroom somewhere. I mean, do you know that that's the story that's going around, right? They got him like
Oh
in a
boy.
gangbang or fucking a little kid or something, and that's why they have him captured. Ian Carroll was saying that shit. I don't know if it's true. And they're like, "Hey, dude, we don't care." Ian Carroll said some cool shit. He's like, "We don't care. We'll stand by you no matter what they have on you."
Okay, yep, you know what?
I'm for it too. I'm for it too. As long as
Yeah,
you didn't diddle a little kid, I don't care what you did.
agree.
I don't care
Agree.
how many whores
Agree
you fucked. And
completely.
I hope, yeah,
Yeah, what a time to be alive.
yeah. All
Well,
right.
haters, you can find me. People, everybody else, you can find me on
Hey,
Instagram.
the only reason why people are so defensive is because um it's hard to imagine someone lopped off the tip of your penis. It's hard to imagine that the people are as strong as you're saying, and so it's easy to be defensive. I get
Oh,
it.
100%.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
100%.
I also know that the fact that you do hospital births makes you so cool. So
Oh, thanks.
yeah,
And
good
every
on you.
time I try to quit, I just get sucked back in because it's doulas are so needed in the hospital.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so
You're
much. I'll talk
always
to you soon.
welcome. We would kill
Thanks.
a show like this would kill.
Let's do it
With us
again.
just building, yeah, that we could be the new next Dr. Drew and Adam Carolla. All
Oh,
right.
hell yeah. Let's do it.
All right, dear. All right.
Bye. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Emily Stanwyck uh from BirthFit. I like Emily. Yeah. Me too. If I wasn't married, I'd probably take her from her husband. She just seems like breeding material, doesn't she? She's just like all woman. That's like serious woman. What a lovely guest. Yeah, she's awesome. She's awesome. We're defensive because no, Sevi. We're defensive because homegirl's shitting all over people who do things different than her. Yeah. Here's the thing, man. Um. Oh, she's snaggy when she said she wanted to call the. Oh, Miss Eggert. That hurt. Um. Oh shit. My wife had a question. I missed. Um. But what? Sorry, I'm switching subjects here. Anyway, great lady, Emily Stanwyck from BirthFit. Like, if you listen, no matter what you think about her, it's kind of like me. No matter what you think about me, like if you needed a friend, like I'm just the best one you're ever gonna find. And If you're gonna have birth, no matter what you think about her and her beliefs, like, you pick her in your corner. So it's like, it's just like that. It's just one of those things. So you could think she's a bitch or dogmatic or defensive or crazy, but like at the end of the day, your bitch is about to have a baby. Who's she gonna want in her corner? Emily. Like, just is what it is. She would break you, Sevi. I know. My wife breaks me. But you can just tell she's just like that girl's just breeding stock. She just oozes. She's cool. I didn't know she was so tall. I figured she was tall. But you know her husband is just fucking beside himself. He has to her husband probably has to pretend like he's more manly than he is to keep control of her. I think maybe she's a handful. But if he's like a lion tamer, he's up for it. I like her. She's cool. That's a lot of woman. Hey. Hey. Hello?
Hey.
Oh shit. Hold on. I disconnected you. I gotta reconnect you. Hi. Hey.
Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah. Hi.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you sound great. Sound
Hi.
like you're in the bathroom.
Okay. Oh, I'm in my office. That's cool. I just wanted to call in. I caught the last half of the podcast with Emily, and I really loved it. I'm 29. I don't have any kids, but I wanted to comment because I think it would be interesting to see how many women, like young women under like 25, think about the stuff that Emily talked about, like not getting as many ultrasounds, not getting an epidural, not getting induced. Because I think women who are so young, like your brain's not developed enough to think like that. You just kind of like go along with what the doctor tells you and you listen to them because you think they know best. I'd be curious to see if her clients who are younger, if she has any, if they think that way or not. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, when I was 43 and we were in a birthing class and we had been going once a week for like 5 weeks, and it was like a 9-week class or something. And the birthing instructor comes up to my wife and I and goes, "Oh, by the way, you keep asking all of these questions. You guys aren't really hospital birthers, you're home birthers." She could
I've
tell
heard
by
you
the
tell
questions.
this story before.
And I got in the car and I'm like, fuck that bitch. I was so fucking angry at that lady. I was like, she's out of her fucking mind. I want to have a home birth. Like, I want to fucking have a hole in my head.
Right.
And so like, I totally relate to what you're saying. Like, you can't even imagine that it's like the pacifier thing. If you would have asked me at 25 pacifier, I'd be like, duh. And now once I had a baby and I knew how to think, I was like, holy shit, you're stuffing something in a baby's mouth.
Right. And like, so my mom was really young. She had 4 kids by the time she was 27, and I'm the youngest of 4 kids.
Wow.
Rosie is actually my sister.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So Rosie's in the chat probably. She's my sister. But like my mom, I don't think, not a dig against her, but she wasn't old enough to think like I should breastfeed my baby, not use a pacifier. Like, she's also very active, so she had good birth, was never induced or anything like that. But I know for me, if I had a baby at 22, I did not think like I do now at 22. My whole life is so much different.
Yeah.
I would have, again, been like, a home birth, that's some hippy dippy shit. I'm going to have my baby in a hospital because that's what people are supposed to do.
Hey, it's where it's safe,
but it's
man.
so unnatural.
It's where it's safe.
Right.
That's the whole
it's
thing.
It's safe so they can take your baby away and, do all the shit to your baby that you shouldn't have.
I drive an electric car because it's safe. I get vaccines because it's safe. I have the baby in the hospital because it's safe. If I don't, I'm going to die.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't eat meat. I don't eat meat because I'm going to die.
Right. I don't do CrossFit because I could die.
Yeah. I don't do CrossFit because it's dangerous.
So I don't know. It just would be interesting to see if like any of her younger clients or moms to think that way.
It bums me
because I know my mom didn't.
It bums me out that every woman doesn't have a strong, like, wise woman next to her to be like, hey man, you might want to try this on your own because you're never going to get another chance. It's like,
Right.
you ever seen like a professional fighter like has a chance to fight for the belt, and then like a week before the fight, like they break their ankle in training, and it's like, or just imagine
Right.
hurting
They're
yourself
fucked.
before the Olympics, and it only happens every 4 years. Yeah. And that's
Yeah.
kind of what like having a baby, I'm guessing, is like you get one shot at this.
Well, and I have a sister-in-law who she had a quote unquote big baby. The ultrasound said she was going to measure like 9 pounds.
That's one of their
So
favorite things to
she,
say too. They love the big baby one.
yeah, yeah. So they were so nervous that she like wasn't going to fit, quote unquote, that her hips weren't going to be able to birth this baby, even though evolutionary speaking, our bodies are made to like expand to let a baby out. And so my sister-in-law, she ended up having an emergency C-section. So now every baby thereon after, she has to have a C-section because her doctor, which is ridiculous, won't let her try a VBAC, which is a vaginal birth after cesarean.
Yeah, that's a crazy word, VBAC. I always get excited when I hear
It's
that.
just, it's fucking crazy. But it blows my mind that some women like having a C-section, like I don't know if you watched Dave Castro's interview with this gal from New York.
Oh
She
yeah,
does like
yeah.
postpartum.
Wait, is
Yeah,
that
what's her
the
name?
is that the Trish lady?
I think so. It was just recently on his podcast that
She was the
interviewed her. She's from Long
one.
Island.
Yeah, she was the one flipping out about BirthFit talking about Paige Powers.
Yes.
And I
Yes,
think
yes.
I think she's totally it's crazy. I think she's
It's
crazy. I
crazy,
think she's
yes.
crazy for flipping out. I think if anyone was like smart around Paige, like they like gave her an honest like, hey girl, it's okay. You don't have to do this.
Right.
Like a woman's body. I'm not mad at Paige for doing it at all, but I doubt she probably had 1,000 people telling her you're amazing, and not one person be like, yo,
Right.
you better be careful.
Well, Paige
like, hey, your
Powers,
body could really
she
use this
said-
time to heal.
Right. And Paige had done a podcast episode on her YouTube or something, like Jessica Hunsucker, Darren's wife, who's had 4 babies. Like Paige and Jessica talked about, her expectations postpartum as an athlete and how that process would go. So Paige has good people in her corner. I mean, God, like the whole mayhem empire there. If it was unsafe, somebody would have said something or been like, "Hey, Paige, you're crazy."
But go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I wanted to go back to the interview that Dave did with that lady from Long Island.
Yeah.
Because that lady talked about postpartum and how impactful CrossFit was for her mentally postpartum. Because I think some women who have like a terrible birth or they get an epidural that's botched and now their body feels all fucked up. Now going into the 4th trimester, which is postpartum, they might be in a really terrible headspace. And now it's like, well, fuck, I had a bad birth. Now I'm a bad mom, or like their milk supply doesn't come in because their birth was so traumatic. And then the baby has trouble, just the like snowball effect of having a bad birth because a doctor told you had to do X, Y, Z, like lasts way longer than the labor process itself. So the gal who was on Dave's podcast, she talked about how she let her athletes or her new moms just come back to the gym to like socialize and get out of their house and help them mentally so they don't go down the postpartum depression, nightmare of a train that is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot to think about.
Yeah. All seems cool. All seems relative. I don't know what it's like to be Paige in your whole life. Being a woman must be just crazy because like after my wife had the baby,
it is.
She just turned into a mom. She wasn't like, hey, I have to go back to work or I have to do this or I have to do that. She was just like, I'm a mom. And she was Greg Glassman's executive assistant at the time. And she, even on the day of her birth, she worked, but it's like, scheduling shit and just checking calendars. And it's not it doesn't require going into the gym and doing 100 thrusters.
Well, exactly.
But I also think that people don't know what they're doing. I think it's like doing drugs. I think if you try to recover too quickly after having a birth, you may not know what the repercussions from that for 10 or 15 years down the line. And
you could fuck your shit up pretty easy.
And I don't think that there's a rush.
Right. Absolutely. And I'd be curious to see what your wife would say about her postpartum, like going back to working out. Because I'm sure for her, that's like a little sliver of her day. That's just her. Like it's just
Yes.
Haley's time,
And
not
she never
mom
misses a
time.
day. My wife spends
Right.
2 hours alone every single day training. Yep.
Which I'm very happy that you let her do that. Like, good on you as a husband and a father. Because I think there's a lot of moms out there who don't get that, and that probably hurts their mental health too, because they don't have the time to go to the gym by themselves, and that's got to be hard.
Dude,
I'm not a mom, so I don't know.
just
firsthand,
imagine
but
not
it seems
wanting.
like it would be hard.
Imagine not wanting your mate to work out. That doesn't even.
Yeah, that's wild.
That doesn't even make sense to me, unless she's fucking some dude at the gym.
Yeah, behind your back with a baby on her hip. That'd be bad.
Yeah, but I mean, just in general, you want your mate going to the gym, getting healthy, eating, staying in shape. I mean, it just makes you. It's like sending your car to the car wash.
Right. It's what we were like born to do as humans. So, anyways, I'll shut up because I'm sure the chat's blowing up and is mad at me. But
No,
I just really
they're
loved
chill.
Emily on your podcast.
Thank you.
Cool.
She's great. Yeah.
If you can have her back on again, that would be awesome, because she was really great to listen to.
Yeah, I agree. It would be a great show.
So,
I like all all the fighting with the chat.
It gets pretty feisty in there, and it's surprising how many of the guys get really heated. It's kind of entertaining.
Yeah, they don't want anyone talking about their dick being mutilated. They hate that.
No, it's quite something.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. So I'll let you go, but thanks for having Emily on. Hopefully, like every Friday can be like Birth Rip Friday or something. That'd be cool.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Bye. Have a good day, Sevan.
Bye, you too.
Bye.
That's the best phone connection we've had in a long time. Where do you go to watch? Wait, let me see what's going on with Let me see what's going on with. Wait, isn't Pedro doing something? Let me see what's going on with Pedro. Coffee, Pods, and Watts. Isn't he streaming something? Let me see if Pedro is. Oh no, he's not live. Oh, he finished streaming 40 minutes ago. What is he doing?
One of my close friends at the time, when we first started CrossFit, like imagine a in space. No,
a professional, bro. Pissing huge. We have a small screen, so hopefully it'll get better. It'll improve as the weekend goes on, I'm sure, as we get more comfortable with what we're doing. Thanks for joining us. French Throwdown.
Is that Travis?
This is the 13th year.
Who's that guy?
Yeah,
of the French Throwdown, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that guy looks uptight.
We have 2 heats of females, 2 heats of males. On event 3, we have Mirham von.
Hey.
Yo.
What's up?
I'm calling to absolutely ruin the show and piss the chat off.
Oh, okay. Hey, this is incredible footage Pedro showing of the French Throwdown.
From the Throwdown?
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny.
I haven't watched any of it.
That's so funny. Before you say this, look what happens here. This is so funny. This poor cameraman walks up to film this girl, and right when he sticks the camera on her, she bends over and puts he's trying so hard not to film her fucking butthole. But look, like he's like, and then he's like, oh shit, oh sorry. I love it. I know that feeling. You're like just trying to be cool, and then all of a sudden, like there's asshole or pussy in your face or dick, and you're like,
I feel like you did it on purpose.
I know. I hated being accused of that. I hated it.
Hey, I'll make this fast because I know the chat's about to go off. But the best way to argue your point is to not get defensive. She was starting to trend into Flat Earth or Dom from Mayhem Holy Week. She was starting to trend into that realm.
Mayhem Holy Week.
It was Mayhem Holy Week. It was great for everyone but David and Pat. But she was starting to trend into that, and that's where when you get super defensive in your stance on something, they state your facts and maybe some links or whatever. Hey, go check it out. This is where I read it. Blah blah. But when you start getting defensive, and I don't want to say she was attacking, but like she was ready to pounce on people. That's where you lose people. Even if your point is 100% correct, that's where you lose everybody. Because now they're just like, dude, why are you yelling at me? You did a home birth and you support home births. They're fantastic. Looking back, it would have been, I didn't even think about it, to be honest, when my 3 kids were born. But yeah, it sounds like it would be great. However, not everyone's down with that. Not everyone wants to do it. Educate them on why you think it's great, but then don't get all defensive and shit on people, you know?
Fair enough. Good feedback. Thank you for the feedback. Solid feedback.
For sure. All right, now we can watch WFP or whatever people want to watch.
All right, thank you.
All right, peace out, dude.
She picked up my energy. My energy is so fucking wild sometimes on the show. Look at this chick, looks like Emma Lawson, like kind of like a preemie. You know how Emma kind of looks like maybe she wasn't cooked long enough in the oven.
So you can
Sevy, you can't say that. She might kill herself.
push the envelope a little bit more here, and it's not a crazy.
Sevs, how many Fox News people has Trump hired to work in his administration so far? He just picked up Judge Jeannie. I know, crazy. Hey, dude, there's shit hitting the fan in there. It's wild. Are you following the Nicole Shanahan thing? Something's going on. Did you see Kash Patel's congressional fucking cross-examination? Something weird's going on, dude. Something weird's going on in the Trump administration right now. Something really weird is going on. Of course I am. Yeah, something's amiss. Something's amiss. And then are you following the Pam Bondi might be covering up for Epstein? Are you following that too, Pat? Are you following James O'Keefe shit? It's crazy. It's the shit that's going down in the last 48 hours. It's fun.
But for the handstand push-up, if you go too far, you're going to pay the price.
Push-up. If you go too far.
So I think we'll see a lot of tactical breaking up of the handstand push-up,
breaking up of the
shaking off of the shoulders, small sets of.
Story was
this fucking footage is insane
here
in a weird way. The line, the more you break.
Issue is as well. Yeah,
did Mike
going in double under.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Hey, the semifinal athletes are all 10 pounds bigger than the games athletes. Like, you just have to know that. Like, if you're just a woman and you want to be a professional CrossFitter or a man, you just have to know, like, hey, I don't know if it's the Winstrol or the fucking CBD nutrition or CGD or whatever that fucking the nutrition guy's like, I don't even make my guys count macros. I don't know what it is, but like, you can just look at their bodies and know who's going. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, the girls look good. Don't get me wrong. I think they look good. But no girls who are carrying the extra 10, which I don't have a problem with, are going. Like, you don't go if you're an extra 10 pounds too heavy. You just don't go to the games. What do you know, Jose? What do you know? So, I mean, it's just the way it is. Like, so you can just see if it's
just over halfway to the time cap.
Completely fucking like looks like a superhero. She's probably not going to the games.
Deadlifts aren't too much of a problem.
It's not enough to just be
for the claw.
And some push-ups go.
You can be at the
nearest challenger.
You can be at the 98%, but if you don't have what's this? Winstrol would do it. Make you Winstrol would do it. Make you incredibly strong and very lean. Yeah. Yeah. Tia. Yeah, exactly. What, Sevy? Tia looks like a fucking superhero. That's my point. Look how lean Tia is. That's exactly my point. That's my point. Whatever I said, strike it from the record. Tia is the perfect example. If Tia was 10 pounds heavier, she's not winning the games. And most of these girls are Tia plus 10 pounds. You can't be I'm done with the French story down. What's the next thing I go to? What's it called? Is it on? It's not on YouTube. World Fitness Project. Like, I can think, you can see the girls. There's this girl I'm thinking of. I don't want to say her name because I don't want to head fuck her, but like, all she has to do is lose like 10 pounds and she's fucking would go to the games every year. And then the girl who's in 10th place, who if she lost 10 pounds, she'd fucking be podium every year. Like, you just know. Like, hey, dude, it's just the way it is. It's not like, no one's saying that you're fat. It'll be taken as that you're saying that they're fat, but no one's saying that. Oh, okay. Here's the World Fitness Project. Let me see if I have audio on this.
There.
But there's beaches as well.
There's a girl. I don't recognize her. Looks like Emily Bridgers.
You are doing it very easy.
There's only one person on the field, and I don't recognize who it is.
And a few deep breaths. And again,
they're doing
slow,
Heat 2 Challenger
setup.
1. I don't even know what this is, guys.
Interesting. Still.
Let me see.
Go and tap.
Oh, and there's not
look
a.
at how straight the leg
Oh, you
is
can't.
there. It's almost like
there's no scrubber, so I can't go back.
It's almost like a stiff-legged.
It's only
snatch.
live.
Keeping the hips high, not
Let
really
me see if
dropping
there's
them
a
that
scrubbing.
low. Very little bend at the knee. Puts a little bit more emphasis high on the hamstring and lower back. But if you're strong enough,
It's Tommy Marquez.
maybe a little bit faster.
Oh, now there's a bunch of girls out there. Where did these girls come from?
An interesting thing to consider going through.
Maybe
a
I saw
workout like
Rebecca
this,
Vidison.
having
I'm
your
not sure.
gymnastic grips on and having to
Where did
grab
all
a
these girls come
barbell
from?
and having to move your grips. Laws Sawwood.
Oh no, that's the girl from Invictus, the Super Beaver. What's her name? Not the Asian one, but the comrade to the Asian one. I forget. She has an accent. I saw her at NorCal. The fuck, I can't remember. I don't recognize any of these people. Oh, I reckon that's the only girl I recognize right there. She was in NorCal. She's an Invictus girl. All right. These don't look like this must be some sort of community event or something. No, I didn't. There wasn't Paige Simmons. Oh, Stallwood. Yes. So Jessica Stallwood, Emily Stallwood. Vidison is not sneaky hot. She's smoking. What are you talking about? Sneaky hot. There might be a girl who looks like Hannah Black out there. The field's fucking beautiful. It's filmed beautifully. It looks absolutely beautiful. Rogue Concept 2. Some dog food brand, I think. Velites or something. Isn't that like a dog snack? Velites? Velites? I think I used to feed those to my dog. Velites? Yeah, this is nice. But I just have no fucking interest in it. This is like watching. I don't have interest in French Throwdown. I don't think either. I should though. I should watch some of that so we can do a CrossFit Games update show. I wonder what the boys. I wonder what Spin is doing. I should call Spin. Do you want me to call Spin and find out what's going on? You guys want to talk about politics? What's going on in the Trump cabinet? It's the complete shit show right now. Everything's fucking it's just chaos. Now I'm starting to feel the chaos. I'm okay with it, Patty. But it's chaos. Call Spin. I should call Spin and just be like, kind of get like, we kind of need like a state of like, trying to think if anyone would know better than him. He might be working. That motherfucker got a day job. Just kind of like figure out what's going on. You know who doesn't know what's going on, which is awesome, is Andrew. Andrew is not following shit.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to...
Oh. I just got a text message. Matt Souza just sent me a text message and it says, hey, take a deep breath. And then I was like, I wonder what that's about. That's like something my wife would say to me. Like she knows I'm about to fucking go nuclear. And then I saw what he was talking about. That's amazing. That's amazing. All right. I should go to what do I have to do? I have to go to AT&T. I wonder if I could do that now. I have to get a SIM card. I have to wait. Let's do one more thing, guys. I'm not. I don't. If you want to watch this stuff, Maybe someone else should do a show on my channel that watches this stuff with you guys. Someone wants to watch it. Go live when you go to AT&T. Go live when I go to your mom's house. I wonder where the closest AT&T.
Hey.
Hi, babe. What do I do today with my life?
You go grocery shopping, you fold the laundry.
I'm definitely not going grocery
You
shopping.
put the clothes
I
away.
don't have that kind of money to go grocery shopping anymore. You have to do all that.
Oh,
I thought about that today. I stopped going grocery shopping because I don't want to spend my money on that. I let you buy all the food now. Ever since COVID.
Yeah,
Did you know that?
better.
Did you notice?
Yeah.
Like 3 years ago,
No,
I
I
just stopped
totally
going
noticed.
grocery shopping. Yeah. We eat healthier now that you do it all. Did you notice that too?
Oh, it's better that I go. Yeah. So you have to take the kids at 10:30. You have to leave here like at 10:15 to do private with the girls and Nico.
Oh, and
But you can drop them off.
Okay, and the AT&T store opens in Capitola at 10 a.m.
Oh, perfect.
Okay,
so you can.
I'll drop them and you'll pick them up.
Yeah, I should be there by 11:30, and it's gonna go till noon. So work, right?
What was some of the things I used to buy when I would grocery shop? Like what? Just name all. You name something, then I name something. Go ahead.
That you used to buy?
Yeah.
It's been so long. It's not what you've bought necessarily. It's more like I know what we need, and sometimes you'll buy 3 cartons of milk when we like a full one.
You're very
Stuff like that.
wow, you're so morally superior than me. No, that doesn't work there. You're so yeah. I would buy too much cheese. Do you remember I would buy like 10 blocks of cheese?
Yeah, you would buy lots. That wouldn't bother me so much because at least that kind of cheese lasts.
No,
I'm trying to think.
I didn't buy stuff like Dino's chicken nuggets. No.
No, I wouldn't say you weren't really unhealthy, or you would buy like yogurt that had and I wouldn't
yogurt that had what? Sugar in it?
Sugar in it, and I wouldn't buy that.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy that.
I would rather buy like plain and add fruit.
Yeah, me too. Oh, I know what you mean. Like I would buy like the vanilla. Yeah.
The brown cow, maple.
Yeah, you're right.
And then Cheetos. Just kidding.
No, I never bought Cheetos.
No, it was just more. It wasn't horrible. Just sometimes you would buy like 3 pounds of carrots. Like, do you want me to make juice or soup? Is that what you're hinting at?
Hey, did you think Emily was defensive?
I haven't listened to the whole thing, but no.
And hey, dude, she's 6'1". So when we were saying that she reminded us of that friend of ours, we were right. Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
She totally had midwife doula vibes.
Definitely.
Yeah, she's like she's an earth
I
mama.
really liked her. Yeah, I really liked her.
Yeah.
So I didn't, like I said, I didn't listen to the whole thing, but I would love for her to be my doula. For sure.
She's cool.
Mm-hmm. Did you think she got defensive?
No, I thought she was just putting a smackdown on, but I agree with her. You know what I mean? I if she was defensive, I liked it. Like I was just thinking, I thought this when I had Lindsay on too, or some other birth chick. I just thought it would be, it would be such a cool show to do. Just like a monthly, like ask anything about, like, because if we did this show all the time, they would start getting good questions. Like people would start being like, can you accidentally poke the baby with your dick when you're pregnant if you're having sex? You know what I mean? Like shit we could get to some cool shit. I'm not on speakerphone, am I?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Obviously,
Which kid
All
heard
he's
that?
doing is work. He's not listening to you.
Oh,
I
please.
just walked out of the
Oh,
room.
please. When I'm like E.F. Hutton, those kids live on every word I say.
I never learn.
Brian,
Even in the car, I listen to your show, and then I'm like, oh, that was a bad idea.
Brian,
Pause.
All right. Well, I'll explain to him today what I mean by that then. All right. All right. Love
Okay.
you. I'll see you in a little bit. I'll come inside in a minute.
Well, did you read my text? I guess if you read my text, you wouldn't be asking me what you need to do.
Oh. Okay. I have to pee anyway. Did you make me eggs this morning again?
Yes.
Okay. I'm coming in to eat them. Thank you. Those are so
Okay,
good.
cool.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay. Bye.
Okay, bye.
All right. That's my life. You guys on my right hand, my family on my left hand. Mr. Lange, she didn't want to play by her own rules. She doesn't want you to shit on BirthFit, but shits on the hospitals. Then when someone fired back, she got butthurt. No. She didn't want to play by her. Oh, okay. She doesn't want you to shit on BirthFit. Well, of course. No, why would you shit on BirthFit? What's there to shit on? You're talking about the taking the castor oil, that thing. She had a discussion about that, and she would never got. I don't think she ever got butthurt. Sevi, she's cray cray. Maybe that's why I found her so attractive. She's definitely not cray cray. No one shit on. I don't think anyone shit on BirthFit. I think if you asked her, did anyone shit on BirthFit? I don't think anyone shit on BirthFit. She couldn't see the comments. Hey, what's up? Yeah, what's up, dude? Hello.
What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, dude?
What's up? Just right before you get off, man, just letting the people know that we're gonna be in Syndicate with you guys. A little short notice, but we're coming in to save the day and bring coffee to people.
Coming in hot
in Knoxville.
I love it. That's so cool.
Yeah, man. When you're passionate about something, you want to make sure that even when it's super short notice, you just offer the people coffee and maybe sometimes people might misconstrue passion with I guess getting defensive, and that's understandable. When people don't generally have that open kind of processing and are a little vapid in their thoughts, but totally understandable how people might take that as defensive rather than just being super passionate about something.
You used BirthFit and you had a hospital birth and everything was great, right?
Yeah. We used BirthFit, kind of, sort of. So like I definitely used you, and I used BirthFit to find a doula that they recommended, and then we found midwives on our own, and then that doula that was recommended by Lindsay, amazing. Like, she just called us last week, like just sent gifts for Luke just for shits and giggles. So she's still like even present currently, even like 9 months after his birth. But yeah, I mean, we did the whole trying out a home birth. My wife was in labor for 36 plus hours at home, didn't work, so we had to go to the hospital. And at the end of the day, it's it was up to my wife what decision she wanted to make, and she went with the C-section. And thankfully, the doctor that we had, the reason why we went to that particular hospital was because the doctor has a birthing center practice that she also works out of, and an amazing doctor, like total, like crazy. She knocked it out of the park. She was like, hey, the C-section is going to be super, like, we're going to do everything we can to make sure that if you want to have children afterwards, you can have a natural birth. And yeah, I mean, our birthing story didn't go down the route we wanted it to go, but like all the things that were put into place by that doula, by BirthFit, helping my wife get to where she was, kind of helped her get to to be able to try to push a close to 12-pound baby out.
Holy shit. That's how much the baby weighed?
11.7.
Wow. That's the biggest baby I've ever heard of. That's wild.
I mean, that's the reason why he didn't want to come out.
Wow.
For those 36 hours.
Wow.
But yeah, like passion can, like, I get it, right? Because like, if you're stuck, if you're indoctrinated into this one particular, and I'll use that word indoctrination like on purpose, because it's super hyperbolic and it, you know, puts people at attention in either a good or a bad way. But when you've been indoctrinated into one way of thinking, the only way to sometimes try to reach people is just to be like, yo, like I'm gonna be super passionate about this, and I'm gonna get quote unquote aggressive, because that's the only way to break through that wall, right? Like, you're not gonna break through that wall by trying to talk through to the wall. No, it's been fucking erected already. I'm gonna grab a sledgehammer, and the only way to knock that wall down is by being super passionate and being like, yo, this is like let me tell you the truth. Like, let me tell you that on the other side of that wall, like, there is another option, and it could be an option that is better if you choose to be open to it. If you want to live with that wall completely erect, like, go ahead, by all means, like, misconstrue it and think that it's defensive. Like, that's fine. Because if you think that if that's where your brain goes to, and not open to be like, oh shit, this person has so much passion over this particular subject, maybe let me like just change the way that you think about it. It might change the whole idea and perception of what you have. I'm a dude, so I really don't fucking know, because like, I'm not my wife who knows everything that went through her body and through that whole birthing process. But at the same time, I'm like the voice of the family, so like I kind of get to explain shit to other people.
Do you think the earth is flat, Gabe?
Do I? Me personally, Gabe? No, I don't think the earth is flat. Me personally, I don't. But that doesn't mean I can't entertain like conversations. That doesn't mean like I can't hear other people and be like,
Jeremy said that
these guys are stupid.
Jeremy said Gabe believes the earth is flat. I just was checking to see if that's true.
No, the only time I believe the earth is flat is when I'm pounding Jeremy's mom. Like, definitely I need it to be horizontal. Like, I need to make sure that like she doesn't get fucking blown off the face of the earth. So it needs to be as flat as possible.
Like, yeah.
So like that, you see, like that is passion. That's not defensiveness. Like, I'll get defensive when it comes to attacking someone, like one of the people that work for me and stuff like that. But like, other than that, it's passionate. Other than that, it's like I'm passionate in coffee and doing like a good thing. That's why when we got the opportunity yesterday from Wilson to be able to help them out at Syndicate, because their original coffee people pulled out, I was like, fuck it, let's do it. Like, I called you, right? I was like, hey, Sevi, like, you think this is a good idea? Like, it's super short notice. I don't know if I'll be able to give you the same like kick-ass service that I would if I had more time. And yeah, I mean, there's like I said, there's a big difference, but to each kind of their own.
All right. Thank you.
Pat, you can suck the biggest cock in the world.
Yeah, Pat,
with
you
all
should.
due respect. And I'm chill. And I'm chill. I got no ill.
Pat, please suck a big, huge cock, Pat. Thank you.
I gotta kind of still stick to that like aggressive tone that some people think I have.
Please buy coffee and send video of you sucking dick. All right, thank you, Gabe.
I'll talk to you guys.
Okay, bye.
No problem. Take care, Pat. Take care, Sammy. Bye.
Oh, this doesn't work. The audio on this doesn't work. Fuck is wrong with my fucking computer? This is a crazy take. All gingers are black people. You see a white man with red hair, that's a black man. Hello, fellow brothers, and black sisters. I just wanted to come on here really quick and say I was recently at a sporting event where I was asked to give up my seat as a black man by this evil white guy, and he punched me in the face, and I let him get away with it. But I feel like I need legal counsel in this matter. So I've set up a GoFundMe below where you can help me. Oh, this is amazing. Oh, this is amazing. How come I can't hear audio on this? Does anyone know? Is that really the truth? Is that fucking true? Are redheads really black dudes? Holy shit, that would make fucking the world make so much sense. I can't turn up the volume. There is no volume. There's no volume. There's no nothing. I don't even know. I wouldn't even know where the button is. I don't even know. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But hey, dude, that would make so much crazy sense. And hey, look at Shelby Neal. She's a black girl. Like, we know that. Wow. The world would make it. I can't believe I never thought of that. Oh, look at Garrett. Yeah, Garrett Glinton's a redheaded black girl. But when I think of her, I think of Garrett as being cut from the same cloth as Malcolm X. You know, they used to call him Red. That's a trip. Like if Garrett could be Malcolm X's daughter. You know what I mean? Garrett, that's the weird thing about Garrett. I mean, Garrett clearly has black and girl features. Like nose and lips. Her lips are so black and feminine. Wow. Joseph, you're you can get on the payroll. I can't wait till we can put you on the payroll. Anything over 2 hours, automatically at 12.5. That's good. Oh, you know who's at the Big W is Jenny. I want Dents. Dude, did you see what happened to poor J-Rod? Remember that guy had him on the show, Nikki Rod's let's see. Oh no, she hasn't. Oh, maybe she has something in her story. Did you see what happened to poor J-Rod? You know he's Nikki Rod's brother. He was on the show. Oh, this doesn't have audio either. Yeah. So here she is. Jenny's going to Big W. Everyone has nice cars. I have a shitty car.
We have some controversy on our hands.
Oh shit! Kill Taylor's today. $2,000. By the way.
Today.
Move to the rings, face the camera, and complete 3 muscle-ups.
Wait.
Everyone must stand alone. I hear you call my
God, Brooke's butt is fucking crazy.
well, and it feels like
being mean or picking on someone.
Hey, you know what's so nuts? You think of you think of the little tiny think of all the positivity that Pedro, me, Hiller, Spin, John, think of all the crazy positivity we bring into the space. So much fucking energy, so much fucking love, so much fucking excitement, so much attention to detail. Just fucking passion, positive. And yet there's people who think we're toxic. Like full-blown retarded people. There's people like, if you heard the way Laura Horvat spoke to me, you would be like, what the fuck? How does anyone ever speak to anyone like that? Every time fucking Pat Vellner goes on a show, he's fucking whining about something, right? But we're fucking toxic. Now listen, hear me out on this. The whole fucking integrity of the fucking sport right now, today, is on Brooke Wells's back. The entire integrity of the sport. She has one fucking chance to show integrity. And she should just come on and be like, holy shit. Like, all she has to do, right? All she has to do, if she wants to match the positivity and energy and integrity that fucking my homies bring to the space, all she'd have to do is be like, holy fuck, my chest doesn't touch the ground on one of those. Oh my God, I can't believe I didn't face the right direction. All right, see you guys in NorCal. I love you. For those of you who supported me, I love you. For those of you holding me accountable, I kind of like you, but eat a dick. That's it. That's it. And it all, think about that. All these people are like we're trying to figure out like what makes the sport. Just the nonstop positivity that we spread about Colton and Dallin and Sprague, and the debates we have on whether Sprague's legitimately the fittest, or whether Abigail Domit's being too defensive about being on steroids. Like is that what's critical, or is what's critical is the integrity to the sport that they want to professionalize around the judging? It's the NFL Super Bowl. He just stepped out of line just a little bit. Do you guys remember the Super Bowl this year? Do you remember that? The first fucking like 6 plays, the commentators were like basically, hey, this is the worst judging ever. And how shitty the fucking footage was. Do you remember how it looked like that guy Jason Brady, that famous quarterback, looked like he was in some sort of weird AI thing that was like from the 70s, like a Flash Gordon movie. Like it cost 50 cents. They already had like 3 judging fucking errors in the first like 6 plays of the Super Bowl. Barry remembers. Yeah, thank you. And we're worried, and for some reason we can't even fucking talk about Brooke Wells' chest not touching the ground. She qualifies for the semifinals. The toxicity. God, I can't even do it. I was going to say the toxicity that comes from the athletes and the coaches is disgusting. We dictate what's positive. We dictate what's positive, not you. You guys are dancing monkey whores, and that's okay. But we dictate. I say whores with no pejorative intended. We dictate what's positive and what's negative. Not fucking you. You don't get to decide. You just dance. That's what you signed up for. If you don't think you signed up for that, go back to an affiliate and work out without a camera on you 24/7. We decide what's funny. We decide what's toxic. We decide who's nice. We decide who's not nice. That's what we do. That's our job. And your job is to give us people to judge, movement to judge, standards to judge. You're in the whole, everything you do in your entire business is to beg to be judged. And if you can't accept that, you're in the fucking wrong business, man. Get the fuck out. By the way, that's not directed at Brooke. I have no idea how Brooke's dealing with this. I have no idea. But I just find it so funny that there's all of this attention that's pivotal to I assume that there's people in her camp who are like, oh my God, this is so mean, instead of like, holy shit, this is an opportunity to do the right thing. That sounds very toxic of you guys, Sevon. Hey, the thing is anyone who thinks that we're toxic, well, we're the only voice in the sport. So we're the only positive thing. We're the only toxic thing. We're the only loving thing. We're the only caring thing. We're the only that's it. That's all. That's it. Oh, we forget. You forgot. Yeah, the biggest one we don't decide is how much they get paid. Back to Jen's updates. Oh, high ground beef chips. Hello. Oh, they got new bags. National. She got a tornado warning. That's not a notification you want to get while driving. Dear CrossFit athletes, after a certain age, you are no longer the product of your environment or how you were raised. It's a personal choice to live the way you do. At some point, blaming your past becomes a distraction from your future. Healing is your responsibility. Growth is your decision. It's a personal choice to live the way you do. You either take ownership of your life or you become a prisoner to excuses. The truth is no one is coming to save you. It's on you to become the person you were never shown how to be. Booyah, Kasha. You think it's fucking easy for her? You think it's fucking easy for her? Dense updates? Let me tell you how fucking amazing she is. This lady has 3 fucking grown daughters that she raised. She's a fucking single mom. She has a fucking a boyfriend who works on a fucking oil rig. She quit her fucking job. There was tension at her fucking work. She parted ways with her job. And at the same time, I met her when she was doing the Instagram stuff. And I'm like, yo, would you make stuff for my YouTube channel? And she says, yeah. And now some 40-year-old woman is putting her ass on the line, reinventing herself as a fucking YouTube personality, covering the news of the space, not getting paid a fucking cent, having to tangle with jackasses who are fucking judging her on her own dime, driving out to WTF World Championships because Sarah Cox got her a VIP ticket there. I'm just going where I'm going with this is I was thinking about what Matt Torres says about people not having to put it on the line. Dude, Matt, no one's put it on the line more than Jenny. You have no Jenny hasn't told me any of this. I just know this. I wouldn't crack the seal with this with her because maybe she'd start crying. But do you know what the fuck she's been through? Why don't you pay her? Why don't you pay her, you faggot? While the rest of you motherfuckers play victim, not you guys, the listeners, but the rest of the world, she's fucking reinventing herself. You think that thing's fucking easy, what she's doing? Sav Amatosian, king of YouTube slave labor. Thank you. You think that's fucking easy? Adam Blakesley, honestly, I thought those boobs made life a breeze. Yeah. It's just she's fucking a remarkable human being. So when I hear Matt Torres say shit like you're not putting it on the line, you're hiding behind your mics and your fucking computers. Not one fucking athlete from Froning to Fraser to Tia would have the fucking balls to pivot and do what the fuck Jenny's doing. I fucking promise you that. How about a fucking big dollop of fucking reality? Well, you fucking cry about the fucking depth of your burpees. Well, this fucking lady put 3 daughters through fucking school and college. She got a couple daughters at home. She's trying to fucking reinvent herself with no fucking promise. No, she can't even see the end of the rainbow with no fucking ability to be like, well, this is a good idea. I'm going to get health insurance. None of that shit. Sevi, just say you want a banger. Oh, me or Pat Lang? Oh, that's an crazy photo. Who wants to bang her? Who doesn't want to bang her? It's pretty it looks pretty good. But dude, just imagine being in her situation. I mean, that takes fucking balls. She's either just fucking completely fucking oblivious and ignorant, or she has balls of steel. Either one. This isn't fucking what's that meme guy's name? This isn't like some fucking 19-year-old kid just making fucking memes with nothing going on. And think of how well she raised her daughters that they support this pivot of hers. God, that would be a travesty if we found out Jenny was gay. Not that there's anything wrong with being gay, but I don't think she is. She got 3 daughters and a boyfriend. Her boyfriend works on an oil rig. She must be straight as fuck. Not bad. 7.5 out of 10. Yeah, I'm passionate, but I'm not myself yet. I haven't fully not myself yet. Yeah, I used to swim in the ocean all the time, every day. Her ceiling in the business is $20K a year. True. Facts. Yeah. Right. But listen, they told me my YouTube station would never get above 15,000, and now it's at 30,000. And so maybe she can make 40K. That was a weak rant. Well, maybe it was a weak rant to you, but if you knew some single women, or you knew how much it took to put yourself on the line, like there's people who are like, oh shit, she really did do it. Hey dude, she in 6 months has fucking put it all on the line. It looks easy to you guys from the outside, but it's not. It's terrifying what she did, unless she's a complete retard, which would be awesome. But I'm telling you, she's not. And she put all her shit on the fucking line, dude. Like, you don't think she's cried sometimes after losing her job and pivoting to this YouTube? I mean, she's never told me that. And now her fucking show is killing. Each show she improves. She got a fucking mic. She doesn't know shit about computers and mics and sets. Me and Susan, no one taught her that. She fucking learned all of that on her own in 6 months. How to edit. She didn't even know how to edit. She didn't know any of that. She had to fucking learn all that and spend all that money and buy all that shit and do all that. She had to believe in herself. Clock. I watched my mom reinvent herself while raising kids. Pulls at my heartstrings. Yeah. She's at the perfect age to just be like, fuck it, I'm just going to work out and fuck my boyfriend on the oil rig. And instead, she's fucking being an amazing, which she can still do, but she's being an amazing role model to her kids and to humanity and to anyone who realizes like, hey, she's at the halfway point of life, and instead of just kicking back and be like, okay, I already did it, she's powering forward. Oh shit, I wonder if I'm in trouble. Oh, nope. My wife just telling me she loves me. Yeah, love Dense's show. Yeah. I mean, it could have gone horribly sideways. It could be like Brad Asaraf's show and she could be getting ass pounded. We'll see if Brad Asaraf makes it out to the other side. Yeah, respect for Jenny's vulnerability. Yeah, crazy. Well said. Thank you. I don't know how I got off on this tangent. Oh, because the Matt Torres thing is really just sticking with me. It's living rent-free in my head. Sick and tired of these fucking idiots who are saying fucking we're being fucking toxic, or we're not putting it out on the line, or we're not, like, go fuck yourself. We're fucking lovers. We're passionate. We're having a fucking blast. We're having fun. If you think there was one negative thing, the only negative thing about the Brooke Wells situation is if Brooke doesn't do the right thing. The ball's in her court. No one said anything bad about her. And listen, if we can't, when Guy was on this show, he called Jesus 400 times, and if no one can take the joke that's funny, then fuck you. You're the negative one. Oh, my eggs are cold. They're probably like sunny side up or something like that. So like I don't mind them cold. And there's probably a ton of there's probably a ton of salt and pepper on it. Okay, where were we? Oh yeah, okay. I'm getting off my fucking Jenny rant. Okay, back to Jenny's. Okay, so she's headed out to the Big W, which takes balls, man. We read that. There's some chick with an alligator. Oh, is that Jenny? My sister's oh shit, that's her sister. My sister's a badass. Bow hunted this beast. Holy shit. This was my first vehicle, cost $2,000. Oh, that's cool. 1987 Toyota pickup truck. My kid swallowed a whole ass hair clip once. Wow. Oh, AR? What is that? Someone? My daughter shoots better than I do. How do you not shoot that windmill? My man moves well and oh yeah, there's your oil. That's their oil rig, dude. My gym family is top tier. Yeah, think of all the people at her gym that like just kind of like knew her, and now like I swear my mom loved us as children, but this haircut would suggest otherwise. Yeah, you look like a monkey. You look like a little finger monkey there. You look like a boy. Finger boy, two boy finger monkeys. Your brother looks like a young Pat Sajak. He already looks like, look, he's already got bags under his eyes, like he's a game show host or some shit. Crazy. I won the best friend lottery twice. There's the daughters. My kids are way cooler than I ever was. Oh shit! Did I mention my sister's a badass? Oh, your sister capped a bear. Me in front of a seat driving with my Google Maps. Are we there yet? I wonder what kind of shit she ate at the gas station. Did she get pumpkin seeds or did she get candy? So now it's cool. So it's cool now, but back then it was a bad move to have an energy drink company be the sport of fitness. I don't know what that is. Too much to read. Thank you.
Monday said the public review period is open. They had all of these motherfuckers go out and get their level 1s re-upped, get their level 2s re-upped, take the advanced judges courses so that they could judge. And there are now hundreds of people doing all of this review. If they do nothing, I might as well stop making YouTube videos.
They got a fucking bag from all these people who paid for the judges course and their level 1 so they could vote on all this shit, and they're not even gonna fucking do anything about it.
If they don't do anything, dude, they're going to piss off so many people more than you could possibly imagine.
They won't piss me off. I'm cool as shit.
Including myself.
Her video should be invalid.
Free Brooke. Free Brooke. Oh shit. 210 needs review.
Stand by.
Tutor. Guiding light for what CrossFit is meant to be.
Oh shit. Oh my god, I got goosebumps. Holy shit, this is crazy.
Guiding light for what CrossFit is meant to be.
Andrew, you fucking crackhead. You cannot. I have to fucking call Andrew and yell at him. Jesus Christ. You guys see what Andrew did wrong there? That did give me goosebumps, though. That was pretty fucking cool. But Andrew's in big trouble. What's his phone number? I think you're my favorite. Shit. But we have to have a quick talk with Andrew before I go. Did you guys see what he did wrong? Did you see what he did wrong? Did anyone notice? I'm going to play it for you one more time. Watch. Did anyone notice what he did wrong?
Guiding light for what CrossFit is meant to be.
Hello?
Hey.
Dude. Do you want a shit sandwich or do you just want it straight?
Straight.
Dude, you can't shake Dave and Hippensteel like that from the back. That would fucking kill me if you shook me like that. He's too old, dude. You're a fucking coach. No, it's not. I'm fucking broke my. When I was like all excited. I saw this, and then I saw that, and I'm like, oh my god, if Andrew did that to me, my spine would snap.
That's because you're a little bitch.
All right. Is that video out?
He's a truck.
He is. He's a brick shit house.
Crazy.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
the video watch 315 pounds.
Damn.
You can't do that either. So I guess
I can't do anything with 315. I can't do anything with 315. I can't deadlift it. I can't do a strict pull up with it. I can't do anything with 315. I could put it away for you. I could take it off the bar.
You can do that.
All right.
Yeah, the dude's 215 pounds and thinks that stuff like that is crazy. I don't think that stuff. It's power lifter shit. Flat. It's just the system gets you riled up to do stuff.
Is this on your YouTube already?
Yeah.
It's up?
Yeah.
How long is it? I hope it's long so I can do a whole assault bite workout with it.
It's long.
Holy shit.
It's up till like 4 yesterday trying to get it today. I wanted it up today.
Do you explain?
I wanted this video up the end of the review for the like the online review stuff.
Hey, do you explain how you connect with them in the video? Andrew?
Yeah, what?
Oh, do you
What?
do you explain in the video how you connected with him?
Yeah.
Oh God, I can't wait to see this. All right, I'm getting off and watching this. All right, thank you, dude. Congrats. The trailer's sick.
Yeah. Sweet.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Yeah, listen, I don't care what he says about Hippensteel being a brick shit house. Hippensteel is that F-350. Oh my God, dude. I was tripping. I never trip on cars. You think that's the nicotine withdrawal? I dropped my kids off at gymnastics yesterday and this truck drives by. And I'm just like, no, first I didn't see it. It was just in the middle of the street. A guy was like looking for a parking spot. And then he left and I took some pictures of it. I was like so moved by it. It was like the Rich Froning of trucks. And then I heard it like driving around the neighborhood and it came back around and I filmed it driving. And then it parked in front of like right near me, just tripping. Cars don't excite me like that. That truck was insane. Oh, they are art. That truck was insane. Is that a reliable car? Can I get a truck like that that's reliable that I can actually drive? You like that Kanye song? I thought it was. It doesn't even sound like. It sounds just like AI, right? Like what's that thing called? Auto tuner. What is it? Heil nigga, Heil nigga. That's the thing. Heil nigga, Heil nigga. That's the thing. 500,000 miles. That's how many miles it is reliable. That's what you're saying. Oh, because it's a diesel. Trucks like that are for guys with tiny dicks. I'm here for it. I need it. I don't like. Hook it up. Oh, the Heil Hitler thing. Poolboy says the Heil Hitler thing grows on you after the 5th listen. All right, I gotta go. Get ready. I gotta do some shit for NorCal. Gotta call Sousa. I think Sousa's speaking at some affiliate gathering today. Isn't it weird how much things change? All right. Remember, spread the love. Brooke, do the right thing. The whole community is waiting for you to set the bar for integrity and doing the right thing. Also, check out Hiller's new Hippensteel video, and then Coffee Pods and Wads is at the French Throwdown, and that footage looks insane. And then if you want, you can go over to the World Report Fitness League. And I guess that's the biggest compilation of great athletes ever in one place or something. Oh, Colton competes this afternoon. Okay, that's worth watching. All right. Love you too, Mr. Lange. All right, everyone. Have a good day. Talk to you guys later. Today's Friday. I'll probably do some sort of show today. I kind of do want to do a toxic show on one toxic show just to prove them right. And I got some ideas. Me and Bryson got some ideas. All right. Bye.